D11 Sports presents St. Luke's Sports Medicine Game of the Week. Don't miss all the action online at D11sports.com.
Notre Dame High School, the site for Colonial League Schuylkill League football action is our D11sports.com game of the week presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine. Boy, we have a great one. Two undefeated teams. North Schuylkill checking in with a record of 6-0, and Notre Dame comes in with a record of 5-0. Hi and welcome everyone. Al DiCarlo and Matt Evancho. So glad you could join us here from Notre Dame High School, and obviously an opportunity for us to see two really good football teams tonight. Matt, they met last year in the championship in District 11, and everyone's expecting them to meet again, but right now this is like round one.
Exactly, and you feel that playoff atmosphere out there. Talking to our student reporter, a lot of atmosphere in the school as well throughout the week, but then you go to North Schuylkill on their side, and it's just another week. So differing of opinions coming into this game of how they're taking this game. We'll see which one pays off.
We'll see indeed. North Schuylkill mentioned coming off a record of 6-0 right now to this point. Wally Hall, the head coach, are coming off a win against Northern Lehigh. They're putting up points, 56-42. They're averaging about 42 points a game. They had about 650 yards of total offense last week. Jake Hall, their quarterback, really lets them go.
And what Jake Hall has been able to do for their offense is just orchestrate getting the ball out to their playmakers. Obviously, Josh Chawanski is one of those main guys in the backfield, but Jake Hall has over 1,300 yards passing this year, and I think that's been the difference in this North Schuylkill team than it was in prior years.
Well, for Phil Stanby and his team, he's coming into his sixth year. They're coming off a win against Jim Thorpe, but they haven't played in 2 weeks. The game against Tamaqua, because there were some COVID issues here at Notre Dame, they didn't play, so you have an extra time period of being off. Colin Quintano, one of the best out there indeed.
Absolutely. Division I baseball commit to Villanova. He came over here in freshman year, and it's become a 3-year starter for Coach Stanball. 1,600 yards at this point in the season is a phenomenal feat. Over 500 last week. He's very poised, very calm, and very smart with the football when he's in the pocket.
Well, expect a good matchup between these two teams. We expect it without question. 6-0, North Schuylkill taking on 5-0 Notre Dame. Yours next, our D11sports.com game of the week presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine. Back after this.
St. Luke's Orthopedic Care. Extraordinary care in motion.
Do you have a scheduled therapy appointment? Keep it. Need to start therapy? Physical therapy at St. Luke's is here for you. If you can't come to the office, see your therapist with a virtual visit from your home. Virtual visits are available for physical, occupational, and speech therapy appointments. You can use your smartphone, tablet, or computer to connect. So don't miss your scheduled therapy appointment. Call Physical Therapy at St. Luke's today and ask about a virtual visit. Do you have a scheduled therapy?
We are back here at Notre Dame High School, so glad you could join us. Al DiCarlo alongside Matt Evancho, and getting ready for action. And interesting, when we look at these teams, one thing that we know is Notre Dame came out sooner than they were expected to come out.
Yeah, they came out here, and there's still about 7 minutes left on the clock before kickoff. Just a little bit there. Talking to Coach Stanball, though, they're on edge. They're ready to go. They've been talking about this for almost 12 months now. So this is a game they've been looking for on their schedule. They're ready to go, and you can see that as they're out here on the field already.
Well, let's take a look at the keys to the game, and we will begin with North Schuylkill.
And this goes back to what they were able to do last year in that district championship game. They were able to get a huge pass rush from their front four, and that put Colin Quintano on edge and on his heels a little bit. And he wasn't able to get a comfort and get some of those passes. And they need to cover the wide receivers. One of the huge things that happened last year in that district playoff game, and Coach Stanball hit on it right on the head there before the game, was they were able to get huge plays, and that heads right into Notre Dame's keys with being able to get the big plays. They were able to do it last year. They need to do it again this year, and also tackle. They need to get to Josh Chwanski in numbers and bring him down and bring him to the ground, and then just consistency and protection where they can keep Colin Quintano off the ground and let him get the ball out to his playmakers.
Well, tonight's keys to the game brought to you by Ringer's Roost Tavern at 1801 West Liberty Street in Allentown. Enjoy their great burgers, wings, and more while you dine inside or outside for lunch or dinner. For more information, call 610-437-4941 or drop on by to Ringer's Roost Tavern in Allentown. But, when you get a game like this, and we had it last week, a battle of unbeatens in Northwestern and Wilson, the hype is there, and all of a sudden, Northwestern won the game handily. How does this hype stay here and we keep it the whole time?
And that, Coach Laboche from Wilson talked about that last week, and I'm sure Coach Stanball and Coach Hall for North Schuylkill spoke to their teams about it. It's about riding the wave, riding the emotional wave and roller coaster throughout the game. And in these big-time games, the big atmosphere, you have to be mature and you have to be able to handle that because there's going to be peaks and valleys. So you want to make sure you are emotionally ready to accept those peaks and then battle back out of those valleys when the time comes.
We talked about the two quarterbacks, but there's other players and other playmakers everywhere on the field.
How about it? I mean, for North Schuylkill, you have to go after Jake Hall. You go right to Josh Chwanski, running back with over 1,000 yards rushing this season. He's back as a senior. And talking to Coach Hall and teams, they kind of overlook him and what he brings to the field at 5'9", 170 pounds. You don't look at him as a power runner, but yet he comes and brings power to that running game for North Schuylkill. For Notre Dame, it's going to come down to that wide receiving crew. Can Colin Quintano get the ball out to those wide receivers and allow them in space to make big plays?
Support for D11Sports.com Game of the Week comes from Michael R. Glovis, financial advisor at Morgan Stanley in Easton. For all your investment needs, call Michael R. Glovis at 610-559-6380, located at 101 Larry Holmes Drive, Suite 301 in Easton, PA. Morgan Stanley, Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC, as North Schuylkill makes their way onto the field, and the crowd here making sure that they know that they're at Notre Dame and not in North Schuylkill. And right now we pause in honor of America. First the opening prayer and then the national anthem.
For bringing us here tonight. We thank you for the gift of this evening and for the gift of this game. Let us, our athletes, take the field tonight. We ask a spirit of sportsmanship and camaraderie to go through all that they say and do. We pray for the safety of all those who are involved in our game tonight. And we ask that all that we say and do give you greater honor and glory and lead us closer and closer to you. Through Christ our Lord. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, freshman Claire Sorrell will lead us in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave
Well, you can hear this crowd is jacked up, and so are we, getting ready for the open right now. And we'll go down to Kieran Lancheski, who's with us from Notre Dame, and Kieran Lancheski has her first report down on the field. Kieran?
I got a chance to talk to both head coaches beforehand. Coach Stambaugh of the Crusaders said that tonight will be an interesting matchup. I asked about how the morale has been on the team since COVID postponements, and he said that the morale is still there and practice all week was intense. Tonight should be an interesting matchup. On the other hand, I talked to head coach of the Spartans, and he said that tonight should be a matchup and a fun game. Looking forward to how this outcome will be. Back to you, Al.
All right, Kieran, thanks a lot. And, you know, she's in good grounds. You know, she knows all the student section. But I tell you what, this students section is packed. They're ready. It's a jam-packed house here. And, you know, every now and then we may see some tight quarters in here. May see some heads popping up every now and then. Nothing we can do about it.
Exactly. And I think we have a nice view for this game. However, you know, on the Notre Dame side, we have in the press box, so we have some nice quarters to be watching this from. Kieran and Dave down on the field, they're going to be in the thick of it, in the middle of the action, and they're going to. I think everybody in attendance is going to be in for a fantastic game.
No question about it. St. Luke's is the region's largest sports medicine provider, covering more than 200,000 student enrollment and 40,000 student athletes in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, covering 8 counties and providing the most comprehensive and advanced treatment for athletic injuries. St. Luke's offers athletic training, orthopedic care, physical therapy, and concussion management, plus sports performance training and individual athletes and teams. During these extraordinary times, you can trust St. Luke's Sports Medicine to provide extraordinary care. Matt, when you were coaching and there was a game of this magnitude, again, it's not a playoff game, but it is a playoff game because you're the front runner. You're looking at the top team in the state. You know, these guys are ranked, and it's really a test to see where these guys are going to do down the road a little bit.
You're right, and what you have to do as a coaching staff is put it into perspective and really not talk about it as much. You need to just get them on the field, let them play, and let them do their job. Otherwise, it's a matter of what can you do to make things happen, to get the win. But other than that, you just need to come out and play it one game, one play at a time.
Schuylkill League, North Schuylkill, Colonial League. In Notre Dame, we are underway. Gavin Metzger sends that one across, and that is picked up by Tariq Muhammad. And Muhammad on the far side gets a good run and all the way up towards the 45-yard line to the 47-yard line. And with that, we bring in the offense for the Notre Dame Crusaders.
So we'll see a couple changes to the starting lineup since there was an injury during pregame for Notre Dame. They're going to be out without the services of one of their receivers. We'll see who that is. But it all begins and ends with Colin Quintano. Can he get the ball out to these receivers and make those big plays?
Yeah, so Becker's out of the game. And they will start things off. First down and 10 from the 40, just underway. So glad you could join us here on a beautiful night in October. Actually a little warmer than expected in October. Quintano will start things on the ground and nowhere to go as we take a look at the defense. First carry by Trevor Shea.
And that defensive group is going to be led by their linebacking core. Both Jack Dean, number 9, and Jackson Chawanski, a sophomore captain for North Schuylkill, the brother of Josh Chawanski. Those two are going to be very active in bringing pressure play after play.
No pickup. Second down. Looking to throw, and he's going to go up top. Has a receiver wide open and incomplete.
And that's what we talked about with Coach Stambaugh at the beginning of the game. Those big plays are there. They are able to get behind this North Schuylkill secondary. North Schuylkill doing a job of taking away the underneath and intermediate play. If they can connect on these long passes, that's going to keep them in this game. That was the one thing percentage-wise where they weren't able to capitalize last year.
So now a third down for Quintano as he goes with 4 receivers, 2 split on either side. Here comes the pressure. Quintano's going to get hit as he throws, and he does complete that one across to Muhammad. And that was close to the first down marker, and I believe they will move the chains.
And really close there as Muhammad does try to get some extra yardage, but in the doing so does come backwards a little bit and makes that much closer than it had to be.
That first down brought to you by DM2 Security. So just underway, about a minute in after the reception by Muhammad. How intense is this game for the coaches? I mean, they've been around it so much, but their stomach's got to be moving a little bit, doesn't it?
Oh, they absolutely are. And again, they have to manage that emotional toll as well throughout the game.
On the ground they go. And a great move and some space. And all the way up for the first down is Josh Ludlow.
Yeah, you see Josh Ludlow coming in the pistol set behind Quintano. Nice set for them because it allows Ludlow to get going fast downhill. He hits that hole full speed, makes one cut, breaks one tackle, and then picks up some good yardage on first down.
First down brought to you by DM2 Security. Second first down of the game. And the ball sitting at the 38-yard line. Ludlow again, bounces off a defender, nowhere to go. A bunch of white jerseys there.
Yeah, the defensive front in the middle, again, they're going to be counted on. Number 79, Robbie Whites. Number 50, Stephen Davis. Number 83, Adam Scott, the one defensive end. Other defensive end, number 52, Chris Long. It's a young group, 3 juniors and a senior. They're going to be counted on to where they have to bring the pressure, not so much always the linebackers coming.
Second down and 8, the ball at the 37. Quintana to throw. Far side of the field, one-on-one coverage, and that one knocked away. There's a flag on the play, and it was Terry Thomas on the coverage. Take a look.
It looks like good coverage up top. As you said, Terry Thomas, number 5. No, I'm sorry, not number 5. Terry Thomas, number 1 in coverage against number 11, Gavin Gibbs for Notre Dame. A lot of jockeying for the ball, and the official throwing the flag, calling pass interference against North Schuylkill.
So underway, a couple minutes in. And they'll move the chains. The ball inside the 30-yard line down to about the 28. So first down and 10, the ball at the 27-yard line. On the ground. Nowhere going. I think it was Chawanski quickly in on the tackle.
Yeah, Jackson Chawanski, number 39, he read that trap play. They pulled the left guard to kick out the D tackle, but Chawanski fouled him and cuts into the hole and hits Trevor Shea, right at the line of scrimmage.
They'll fake it to Shea. And right on in. That's a play. That's we talk about, you say he's only a sophomore. This is why he's getting looks already as a sophomore.
And it's a sophomore who was voted team captain. So you're going to see him come up and blitz, and it's a protection issue that Notre Dame fails to pick up. They have to have somebody spying those linebackers, knowing how much pressure was brought against them last year. They have to realize that the pressure is going to still come.
Logan Castellano is in the backfield. Maybe just go his way. They do not. They go up top, and that one is incomplete.
And again, you can see the focus on that big play, focus on getting the ball downfield because the play is there. It's just a matter of inches, and we talked about that last weekend against in the Wilson Northwestern game. You look to make that big pass, but it's just a matter of inches. If you're off just a little bit, you're not completing them. But if you're on, you look like you're fantastic.
Yeah, that was Ryan Frinzy. So our first fourth down of the game, 4th down and 15 from the 32 for Quintano. Again, 4 receivers split on either side. Quintano has time to throw, goes near side, it connects to Muhammad down inside the 20, and he'll get down to about the 18-yard line on the pass completion. That first down is brought to you by DM2 Security.
And this looks like it's going to be a little close. They're marking this right at the sticks, and this is going to be a measurement.
Okay, we don't have the best angle, but boy, that looked like he was on it. Are they going to measure this one?
And Coach Stanball talking to Muhammad about that, because that's the same thing he did on the last one. Instead of turning and just getting upfield, knowing the situation to get the first down, you kind of turn around and come back a little bit, and then you give up some of that yardage.
So they'll bring out the sticks, and only the third time, you weren't at the last game at Northampton, we had one there, only the third time this season we've seen the sticks. What is it about the sticks that we don't see anymore?
It's the big plays. You get the big plays past the sticks. They're not even giving it up to any kind of chance.
So they move the sticks all the way. The sticks had to come all the way across, by the way. Now I'm looking through a student section, through the crowd, and I told you before it was a first down. Did I not?
You did say that, and you could see just by the reaction of the North Schuylkill kids, as soon as the chains were put down, you could tell that they saw that it was a first down right away.
Yeah, Notre Dame student section in here in full force. You know, it's interesting when, we're at Notre Dame, the crowd is so onto the game. That's how close they are. The cheerleaders are even outside the gate because they have no room to put them in. So 1st and 10 from the 16-yard line. Quintano will take it himself. Does he find a seam? He spins through it. Not much there. And gets down to, maybe he gets to the 15. One thing that they are doing here on this opening drive is taking a lot of time off the clock.
And I think that's a good move by Notre Dame and Coach Stanball. You want to limit the number of touches that North Schuylkill and their offense has the ball. So you have the ability right now, especially 2nd and 10 inside the red zone, you can take all the time you can.
Looking to throw, goes to the back of the end zone, and that one is incomplete. Fans asking for a flag.
Yeah, that ball was well thrown out of bounds.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so you're looking at about three pass plays that are just out of the reach. I mean, this was so far out of the reach, your camera couldn't even get it. It went out there towards the left.
Now we've always talked, teams having 2 downs to get this first down. I would have to think though, Notre Dame with a very successful kicker in Nick Garita, you're looking to potentially get 3 points out of this if you do not pick up the first down.
Yeah, the ball at the 16, depending on what they get here, a 33-yard field goal right now. 7:15 on the clock, 3rd down and 9. Here comes the pressure again. Avoids it and throws it. And in for the touchdown. 16-yard touchdown pass to Logan Castellano. And on the scoreboard are the Notre Dame Crusaders. They strike first.
And they were looking for Logan Castellano a little bit earlier in that drive on that 3rd down. And what's happening is they're putting Logan Castellano at tight end, and the defense is losing sight of where he's at. And that time he was able to slip free out to the corner and pick up the reception and the touchdown.
So Nick Garrido adds the extra point, 7-0 in favor of Notre Dame. Good opening drive for the Crusaders. I guess you can't ask for much than that. They converted a couple first downs. They moved the ball effectively, and they got the touchdown.
Yeah, they did a lot of things that were key for them to be successful. They were able to mix in some run. It wasn't just pass. They were able to show we can get behind you and we will complete these deep passes, but we're also able to throw some more intermediate passes. And then on top of that, it was the poise and the calm play to get it down the field. And what Coach Stanball wanted to do for Notre Dame, he mentioned, we want to start fast. We want to get on the board right away. And they were able to accomplish that with their first drive.
I can't even listen to Dave anymore. Dave's texting us before, but I just got it now about, it looks like it's a half a yard short. We're up here. I'm calling it. That's a first down. He's calling a half a yard short. He's like the line judge down there. So just underway, 7-0 the score. Garrido has it on the tee. And we'll send this one. Will it be returned? It will not be. So we'll get our First time we'll see the offense here for North Schuylkill. Take a look.
And as we said, we highlighted Jake Hall in the opening. We talked about Josh Chawanski, the running back. Our four very capable and talented wide receivers. But can this offensive line, who won the battle in the trenches last year, can they do the same thing this year and open up holes for Chawanski and give Jake Hall time to find those receivers on the perimeter?
So they'll start things on the 20. And they'll go with Chawanski. Tries to bust to the outside, makes it turn, and not fooled there by any means on the tackle on the play by Josh Ludlow.
Yeah, Josh Ludlow in at safety, and we get a look at that defense. As we said, Jaden Becker, defensive back, he's out with an injury that was sustained in pregame, and in for him is number 11, Gavin Gibbs, who was a starter there last year, but moved over to the offense for this season with the addition of Jaden Becker.
They go right down to the ground again, up across the 25 towards the 28-yard line, or 27-yard line. Again, if you're chunking up some yards and you're getting 3-4 at a time, you're going to be okay with that. And we'll see they go up top right away. They're quick offense. Again, the hurry up last week and bulldozing his way to the first down, brought to you by DMT Security. And he's going to get a bunch of carries tonight, is Robbie Whites.
And I have to say, when I was putting together the roster, looking at the stats, and I'm looking for Whites. I'm looking for where is this kid?
30s.
Where is he? I don't see him anywhere. I can't find him.
Now they're going to throw up top, and that one incomplete as they were looking downfield in the direction of Joey Flail.
And then you find him, Robbie White's number 79, 6 foot,
guy,
318-pound D-tackle, playing fullback for them in their short yardage offense. But last week I saw over 100 yards rushing. I think 5 touchdowns against 4 touchdowns against Northern Lehigh.
How about that?
Big day for him.
A big guy. Dan Copen did it for Whitehall, but Dan Copen's not a big guy like this. But, he used to be in there for Tony Coca's team. 6:03 on the clock, second down and 10 from the 36. Jake Hall will take it himself, and Hall's got some space, spins move, and he will drive across midfield down to about the 47-yard line for the first down, brought to you by DM2 Security.
And you get a good look at North Schuylkill. Their hurry-up offense, they get right up on the ball. They go quick. They like to play fast. They want to maximize the number of touches that their players in their offense can get.
Quickly, Hall was going to toss near side, but wasn't there. Now he'll lead his receiver. And a good job of getting back on defense was Ethan O'Neill for the Crusaders. That was a big play.
Yeah, you get a good pass rush by the defensive line, especially number 21, Logan Castellano. He flushes him out of the pocket. You thought Chawanski was going to be able to get a step on O'Neill, but O'Neill did a nice job, kept his head down, stayed in contact with him, hand up at the last minute to tip the ball away.
So inside 6, second down and 10 from the 47. Back on the ground they go. And, he looks like he's so easy to take down, but then he carries a couple defenders with him.
Yeah, Notre Dame looking to see if the ball came out at the end. They recovered it, but officials saying Chawanski was down. But you're right. Again, he's at 5'8", 170 pounds, so he's not the biggest kid. But you look at his legs and you look at his hips, you can just tell he lives in the squat rack.
Third down, Hall comes across and powers through, and the reception made and more. Downfield is Joey Flail, and Flail breaks a tackle and gets taken out of bounds inside the 10-yard line for another first down, brought to you by DM2 Security.
Joey Flail, their leading receiver. You're just going to see a quick rocket screen. You get a good block from 22 on the perimeter first, Evan Stanakis, and then Joey Flail showing his speed down to the corner.
First and goal, spinning and not really going anywhere, staying right around the 7-yard line or so.
We keep talking about last year's matchup, right? And North Schuylkill was able to get out quick and get up, and they score a lot of points. And you're right, it's a matter of can they just withstand what's going on? Can Notre Dame get a stop here or there?
Second down and goal from the 7. Whites checks back in, and Whites will get it, and he powers through. The big guy goes in for the touchdown from 7 yards. So Whites, all 300 pounds of him, goes in for his 6th rushing touchdown of the year and a 7-yard score. Extra point coming up.
And you have to root for him. You have to root for the lineman, the defensive lineman, getting his chance to get in and run the ball.
Gavin Mentzer for the extra point attempt to tie the game up here. Well, they came in on him. That one goes through. 7-7 your score with 4:31 on the clock.
And what a first quarter so far. You know, Coach Stanbaugh mentioned what was scary about North Schuylkill is how he felt they were so much better offensively than they were last year. And they were very successful last year in that game that they played. But to think that they're even better, that's scary.
I asked Coach Stanbaugh earlier today, I said, you know, what do you want to do if you win the toss? He said, you know, we want to, you know, get the ball in the second half. So they want to go on defense. They ended up going on offense. They scored first. He also told us we need to score. We need to set the tone, set the pace. 7-7, 4 minutes left on the clock. I mean, right now they're doing the job.
I think they are, and I think, you know, both teams came out and probably offensively did exactly what they wanted to do. I think Notre Dame may want to. They're obviously going to want to complete and connect on some of those other passes, the deep ball, and they're going to continue to take their shots. But I think right now, 7-7 in the first quarter, both teams well within their game plan and continuing to just execute that offensively.
So the Crusaders set to get the ball once again, and this will be fielded right around the 6-yard line. And trying to skip through traffic but nowhere to go is Nadir Sanders.
Yeah, there was no room to go for Nadir Sanders on that return. Just have to hit that full speed and get what you can.
First quarter action from Notre Dame High School. I'll tell you what, one thing I like about Notre Dame, as you say, you're so close to the action, but if you look in the end zone, that people are like swarming over there and, you know, and to get in here. Amy Rogers doing a good job with the security. You know, she's making sure that people are parking in the right places. So they'll start things off from the 18-yard line. Has a receiver but couldn't throw it to him. Will decide to take off, and Quintano will get a few right around the 20-yard line. So, you know, again, sometimes you'll have that receiver busting through, but the way that defensive line has been is not giving as much time to throw.
No, and he had a hand right in his face as he was looking to throw the ball deep to Tarif Muhammad, who was streaking down on a skinny post from his slot position. Can they protect him, and can the Notre Dame coaching staff get a beat on when is North Schuylkill bringing pressure? Are they bringing pressure on first down, second down? You know, what yardage? If they can do that, then they can help protect Quintano a little bit more.
Little screen pass coming near side. Castellano has it. And Castellano will get across the 30-yard line and move the chains. The first down brought to you by DM2 Security.
Yeah, that time Quintano just coming out of the backfield on a flare, and Quintano sees that and gets the ball to him quickly, and then he does his rest to pick up the first down.
So the ball at the 33, clock down inside 4 minutes. Motion far side. And a little quick pass. And we'll push that one forward and gain some positive yards on the reception made by Trevor Shea.
That time Quintano looking to Tarif Muhammad, who was the single receiver on that side after Nadir Sanders went in motion. And then they also had Trevor Shea coming out of the backfield. And you have to credit the linebackers and defensive backs for getting up and making the tackle before giving up a big gain.
Second down. Crusaders got to like this tempo. And middle part of the field, he has a receiver, and he overthrows him, and it was a little bit to the left. But, boy, that's the second time that it came across, and that was Muhammad again.
And that time you credit Quintano staying in the pocket, but on second and intermediate, again, North Schuylkill bringing pressure, and the pressure coming unabated and able to get onto him to get him to throw a little bit sooner than he probably wanted to.
So that brings up a 3rd down and 7 from the 36. Shea's in the backfield. Quintano. He has a lot of room to run. Now he doesn't. And that one incomplete. Was looking in the direction of Gavin Gibbs. Boy, that changed quick. Thought maybe there was a little opening for him to go, but a great job by North Schuylkill to collapse on defense.
Yeah, that time Quintano still keeping his eyes downfield, looking for the receiver, and he had Gibbs streaking across the middle from the far side, and he just throws it a little bit high for him and not able to bring in the reception for the first down. Credit that North Schuylkill defense in getting the job done.
Joey Fell is deep. They bring some pressure. How about this bomb? And that one knocked over, and the ball's still loose. And Flail doing a good job of getting on the ball at the 25-yard line. Take a look.
Yeah, a lot of pressure coming, and credit Garita for getting it out. But you're right, Logan Castellano getting down there, Flail just off his fingertips, and Notre Dame nearly comes up with the big turnover so far in this game.
This is, again, I didn't ask the coaches this question, but I ask you, again, it's not a track meet yet. Could it be? Yes. Could it come down to the last possession? Yes. Could it come to one crucial play? I think so. That's how I think it could be decided tonight. A fumble, an interception, one of those, the team that makes that, not that has the extra possession, but maybe makes the mistake, could cost it tonight. But we'll see. I did see the first down earlier. Oh, man, I tell you what, they don't have an answer right now. When you got a 300-pound guy coming your way, this guy, he's tough to stop.
And you figure right now, if you're North Schuylkill, and one of the things you always look at as a coach in one of these games is, all right, I need to get a critical stop. And I think if you're North Schuylkill, you just got a critical stop. So now we can slow down, and we don't have to rush anything. We can just get behind our offensive line and just work 3 to 4 yards at a pop and just continue to move the sticks, because we know we're ahead of the game right now, getting the ball in the second half.
No question. Another first down brought to you by DM2 Security. Moving the chains. And they will stay on the ground and tack it. This time they bring him down. Again, coming into the game, if you're wondering, White's 31 carries, $176, averaging almost 6 yards a carry, had 5 touchdowns, added 1 tonight.
And I think the one thing with White's that you just have to make sure you don't overuse that in a game like this.
And this one's going to be close. The way they mark it, looks like the chains will be moving. Indeed it will. Another first down brought to you by DM2 Security.
It looks like Chawanski's getting up a little slow, kind of holding his left arm.
And walk back to the sideline. So they'll go with White's, and White's powers forward and almost gets 8.5, 9 yards.
And that's the one thing with White's running the ball. You can't, if you're Notre Dame, give him any kind of room. You have to stop him before he gets rolling. He at least, when he gets into the hole, he's able and he's agile enough to make one move, but you're not going to get anything much more than that. So you need to get to him quickly and bring him down quickly.
It's the last time you saw a lineman of that size being that much active in the game, even at the high school level. Have you ever seen one?
No, not since the days of like Mount Carmel.
Here's Jackson Chawanski.
And that time, Jackson Chawanski, you could see what's so special about him. Just very tall, very strong and powerful. He just stays square to the line of scrimmage, and you can't get anything in on him. He keeps those legs pumping, and people bounce off of him as he's running.
Another first down, moving the chains. First down brought to you by DM2 Security. And that would likely be the end of the first quarter. So how about that? A couple possessions each. Quintano to Logan Castellano for 16 yards and a 7-0 lead by Notre Dame at the 7:09 mark. Then Robbie White's 7 yards on the run for the touchdown. Came at the 4:31 mark. 7-7 after 1 quarter of play. Back after this. You're watching our D11Sports.com Game of the Week presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine.
St. Luke's knows that trust is the foundation of all relationships. It's earned over time. It's the type of relationship you should have with your healthcare team. While our healthcare needs are different, one thing is constant: St. Luke's is focused on building a lasting relationship with you, earning your trust and putting your well-being first. When it comes to great health care, trust is essential. St. Luke's, the care you trust, now more than ever. At St. Luke's Orthopedic Care, you can trust us with your hands, feet, shoulders, hips, and knees. Because healthy bones and joints mean you can do more. You can trust us to recommend the right approach to care, including joint-sparing treatments and therapies. And when surgery is the only choice, we offer options to help you heal faster, including technology-assisted joint replacements and muscle-sparing hip surgery. St. Luke's, the orthopedic care you trust, now more than ever. St. Luke's knows that trust is the foundation of all relationships. It's earned over time. It's the type of relationship you should have with your healthcare team. While our healthcare needs are different, one thing is constant.
So we are back, Matt. They've run a play. Your thoughts of the first half?
I think we saw and we're seeing what we expected to see. Two quality teams, two well-coached teams, and you're getting them still running their game plan. There's no reason to get outside of what they do and just continue to just build some confidence and get into the end zone.
So 2nd down and 9, the ball at the 37-yard line. On the ground they go, powering through and still on his feet. Getting across the 30 down to about the 28-yard line. I'll bring up a 3rd down and short.
And you saw number 50 for Notre Dame, James Cartier, coming in untouched.
Oh, and Jackson Chawanski this time goes in for the touchdown. So about a 30-yard touchdown run by Chawanski.
And it's really it's the same play they ran with Robbie Whites. They just put Chawanski in there, give Whites a break, and you can see what type of athlete he is. And he's going to be a special one for North Schuylkill for years to come.
Extra point by Metzner. Now we talk about this offense. That one just sneaks its way through, but we talk about the offense and talk about that play. I think it was going to call it 37 yards. I thought it was 31. But how quick are they to strike?
And that's the one thing that I think they showed last year. They were able to strike quick, and they did have some big plays, but you can't give a team like North Schuylkill the lead, because if they get into the lead, then they're going to slow things down. They're going to sit behind that offensive line, and they're just going to pound that ball downhill with their running game in that offensive line. So you need to, and Coach Stanball was so concerned with getting out quick and getting out on top, and they had the chance. They need to get down the field now and score, and then get a stop on defense, and then settle back into their rhythm.
You know, a game that we expected to be really good is just getting that way. This becomes an interesting possession. You know, you look at Notre Dame, they ran through, took about 5 minutes off the clock, and then they come back, and now all of a sudden, you know, they had to punt the ball away. This is a possession where you can't punt the ball away 2 times.
No, you cannot. You have to come back here and get something out of this. Even if it's a field goal, you need to get some sort of points out of this drive.
And running back is Nadir Sanders. I want to thank Ringer's Roost Tavern at 1801 West Liberty Street in Allentown. Enjoy their great burgers, wings, and more while you dine inside or outside for lunch or dinner. For more information, call 610-437-4941 or drop on by to Ringer's Roost Tavern in Allentown. So this will be the 3rd possession. On the ground, coming near side.
And they bring Tarif Muhammad from his slot position in motion, and then give him that direct handoff from Colin Quintano, picking up 5 yards on first down. And it's a good start for the offense, and if they continue to keep moving that ball around, and I'm sure we're going to see them take a shot deep here pretty soon, but probably want to get in a little bit more comfortable position before you do so.
2nd down and 6. Far side, and great coverage there, covering up.
A defensive back for North Schuylkill, number 22, Evan Stanakis. He's the one that comes in and brings down Nadir Sanders, who, if he breaks that tackle, picks up some good yardage. But Notre Dame puts themselves with that first down play in a manageable 3rd down, and they need to get something going here. They need to get just past the sticks and pick up that first down before looking to take a deep shot.
3rd down and 3. Quintano, again, he's pushed out of the pocket, off the back foot, throws, and boy, what a catch. Coming straight across, near side, making the grab is Gavin Gibbs.
We have a flag on the play as well. We'll see when this flag was thrown.
Well, Quintano went down.
I think they're going to get Notre Dame on running his motion forward was Muhammad, leaning forward before the ball was snapped. So illegal motion. So that will negate the first down for Notre Dame.
And you mentioned it was 3rd down and 3, 3rd down and 4, and now all of a sudden you're pushed back a little bit as the ball's going to, as we're underway in the second quarter, 14-7 in favor of North Schuylkill, and the ball will sit at the 30-yard line.
And that's a big penalty. You negate that first down. Now you're in a 3rd and long, where you kind of force the action here, where you have to get past the sticks. You have to pick up this first down.
Looking to throw, and that one incomplete. Was trying to lead Castellano in front, but the punting team will come back into the mix. Matt, what has changed since the first drive for North Schuylkill's defense?
I think they're doing what they said to do and what Coach Stanball knew they were going to do. They're going to play tight on the short to intermediate routes. They're really going to play tight on that, and they're going to force you to try to throw the ball deep, knowing, hey, we're going to play our percentages on that one. We think we can make some plays. If we give up a couple big plays, that's fine. We at least can limit your ability to drive the ball.
Garrido maybe doesn't get the roll he wanted. Now it'll take about another 4 or 5 yards, but man, that bounces there and takes a roll. It could be a Randall Cunningham punt.
Absolutely. That's a great punt by Nick Garrido. Not only does he kick off well, he field goals, but also as a fantastic punter for the Crusaders.
D11 Sports thanks Michael R. Glovis, financial advisor at Morgan Stanley and Easton, for his sponsorship of the Game of the Week. For all your investment needs, call Michael R. Glovis at 610-559-6380, located at 101 Larry Holmes Drive, Suite 301 in Easton, PA. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. 14-7 North Schuylkill with the lead and the ball for Jake Hall. And Hall will take it straight up the middle. Boy, he's got some space. And he'll be short of the first down. But when you gain 7, 8, 9 yards on the first play, that's setting the tone.
Yeah, that's going to wear on the defense if they're able to do that repeatedly. And how they're doing is they're attacking up the middle. The 4-3 defense, 4 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers. The linebackers have to be responsible for those receivers out there as well, but you're seeing them just pick up the middle.
Yeah, Hall straight across. He gains about 20 or more across midfield for the first down, brought to you by DM2 Security.
So we saw that early with Robbie Wheats. He was getting the ball up the middle, and then they bring in Jackson Chawanski. He gets the ball up the middle, and he breaks a big one, and now Jake Hall getting the opportunity. So they're attacking that middle from different angles and different spots with different people.
So the ball all the way just like that, the 45-yard line of the Crusaders. Here comes the pressure. Gets hit as he throws, has a receiver, and down inside the 5-yard line. The reception was made.
But number 4, Carl Brown for North Schuylkill, the senior. He has 8 receptions, 338 yards on the season, 5 touchdowns. You can see, taking a page out of Notre Dame's playbook, getting behind the secondary.
And they try to go fast. They don't get it. That last first down brought to you by DM2 Security. And the false start, you're going so fast, you went too fast.
And I think for North Schuylkill, you're okay with that. You don't ever want to give up yardage. But you're first and goal from the 5. Now you're first and goal from the 9. You kind of give yourself a little bit more room to do some things. But Robbie Wheats checks back into the game at fullback, so you have to think they're going to give the ball.
On the handoff, they inch a little closer.
So with that run, they get back the penalty yardage.
On the ground, Whites gets it again and powers through. They bump him, and they'll bring him back. So they stay inside the 5.
That's a win for Notre Dame at this point in time, being able to slow that down. But now White's coming out of the game with Jackson Chawanski reporting in.
So under 8 minutes, first half of play, 14-7 North Schuylkill leads in the Battle of Schuylkill League, Colonial League. And they'll pitch this one back to Chawanski. Chawanski powers forward. He's close, but no indication. And that'll bring up a 4th down. Now you'll hear the crowd.
And I'd like to see Coach Hall make the decision, just go for it. Go for it on 4th down. If you don't get it here, you at least have them stuck inside their 1-yard line.
Here's Hall. And
this is going to be close.
We wait for this one. I think that was Jackson Chawanski on the carry. I'm not positive on that. There is a player down in the field for Notre Dame.
Getting up slow.
Notre Dame ball.
Notre Dame with a stop.
Wow. How close was that? I don't know if we saw it on the replay or not, but, we got a tough angle from where we're at.
Yeah, running away from us to the far side of the corner, it was the defensive line of Notre Dame coming through at that time. Logan Castellano, Ryan Carroll, Anthony Sofani, Dane Vassallo, getting through there and making the stop and stopping any kind of surge out of that offensive line.
Well, you said it. You got them pinned back. You want to score. You want to make it 21-7. However, now, if you're Notre Dame, you got to just be extra careful, but at the same time, hey, you prevent them from going in. Just don't really want to give it up right away.
And Tarf Muhammad for Notre Dame already has a 93-yard touchdown reception on the season.
And they're going to go. Here comes the pressure. Gets hit as he throws, and there should be a contact there. They're looking for it. They'll say no.
And that was tight.
Wow.
The timing was pretty good. Up here, it looked like he got there a little early, causing an incompletion.
So 2nd down and 10. This is, by the way, if you're wondering where the ball is, the ball's not the 1. The ball's at
it's like the half-yard line.
Not even half-yard line, right? Probably the length of the football, if that.
It's at the point where it's still dangerous to run the ball.
Now they'll move the receivers. Here comes the pressure. Going to come to the near side. Floats it up there, and what a grab! What a catch there by Sanders. Well, that gives you some breathing room.
That absolutely will give you some breathing room. And Quintano just underthrows him a little bit. He gets that out in front of him. He's behind the secondary, but he throws it, and Quintano takes another huge hit. But nearly intercepted, but Sanders does a great job getting up for the ball, high-pointing it, and pulling it away from the defender.
Just like that, the ball's at the 27-yard line. Some breathing room, and they'll go on the ground. Castellano gets up to about the 30-yard line. So the first downs continue to come. Brought to you by DMT Security. That was the biggest one of the game, really, when you think about it.
Absolutely. I think it was because it gets them out of the shadow of their own end zone and allows them some ability to be a little bit more creative with the play calling.
Second down and 7, the ball on the 30. Castellano found the seam on the outside. There's a flag thrown at the end of that play.
And with where it was coming from, you're going to get a holding call against Notre Dame, so that'll take them back 10 yards.
So they'll move him back a little bit. If you're just joining us here on D11sports.com, we expect to have 2 games this weekend, but the game tomorrow between Easton and Bethlehem Catholic, not going to happen. Some COVID issues over at Bethlehem Catholic. So another postponement. I saw Pocono Mountain East and Deerfield also. That game was nixed as well. I think Peaburg's game as well was not going to happen. And that ball gets moved back. Second down at 18. The ball sits at the 19-yard line. And a timeout here for Coach Phil Stambaugh. And it comes with right around 6 minutes on the clock. 14-7 your score. DM2 Securities, locally owned and operated security company. Presently serving most all of Pennsylvania. They provide all phases of security services for your home and business. They offer free estimates and have competitive pricing and superior customer service. Let DM2 Security start protecting you today. Check them out on the web at www.dm2security.com. It's a small price to pay for your peace of mind. DM2 Security. And right now, with the ball, are the Crusaders. Castellano late getting back to the backfield. Well, he won't go in the backfield. How about that? Second down at 18. The ball sits at the 19-yard line. Looking to throw. And we'll try to get something for Sanders. Sanders slipped. Sanders has that little jump move that, try to get a little pop. I do that, I'll pull a hamstring. I just want to let you know that.
And now, unfortunately, he's slow to get up after that. I don't know if it looks like a cramp.
So we are in the second quarter, 5:47. Matt, you came into the game with expectations. I came into the game with 56-54, but that's beside the point. But you came in with expectation. Is this going according to plan of what you thought? Or, I'm seeing more running than I thought. I thought we were going to see a little more passing.
And I usually,
even though they have the running game, both teams.
Exactly. And I usually look at this. I usually look at the games from the perspective of each head coach. And I usually come in, what am I expecting from both sides? So North Schuylkill, I'm thinking, if I'm Coach Hall, I'm coming in expecting, okay, we need to get going and we need to weather their receivers and force them to throw those long passes and make them become incomplete. And we've been able to do that. So we're where we want to be. I think, would we be happier by scoring on that last drive? Without a doubt. But I think they're where they want to be. They're forcing a lot of third and longs, a lot of second and long situations for the Notre Dame offense and making the receivers work. Not only that, but I wanted to get pressure on Quintano. I'm doing that. We've been successful with that. On the flip side of that, Coach Stambaugh, I think if I'm in his shoes, I'm thinking, okay, we need to come out and we need to play fast. And the one thing is weathering that storm, as we said. They've been talking about this game since last year. Mm-hmm. And as a coach, that's a choice. That's a philosophy. Some do, some don't. Coach Hall on the other side, he said we didn't even think about that last year game at all, ever. It was over with to us. So Coach Stambaugh and their staff and their students, they took it as, we want revenge. We want to get this back because we did not show them what we were made of. So they're out here, and I think what they found was a lot of character and a lot of heart with that fourth down stop on the goal line. I think now we need to build on that and to continue to roll from that.
You sing?
I do not sing.
You don't sing?
I do not sing.
You don't do a cappella? You
Nope.
don't do nothing like that?
Nothing.
It's someone's birthday here.
I know it's someone's birthday.
Bill Lewis, Sports Fan Base Network, 25, the big quarter
the
century.
young 25.
Happy birthday, William.
And he doesn't look happy.
He doesn't look happy. He's upset. I gave him a happy birthday.
You didn't bring dessert.
Well, I got a candle. Hold on. I got nothing on put the candle on, but I have something. Looking to throw, third down and 14, and that one incomplete. I would sing. I'll sing right now.
Yeah?
I'll sing right now to Bill.
Oh, please
Everybody
don't.
watching right
Please
now, I'm
don't.
going to sing.
We're going to lose all our viewers.
I'm going to sing right now.
All right, so with that incomplete pass, that brings up fourth down. So Nick Garita back on the field to punt.
Sorry, Bill, no singing. Happy birthday, though, bud. So 14-7, North Schuylkill will get the ball back with plenty of time. Still, 5 and change remaining. But if you are Notre Dame, you dodge the ball at the half-yard line, and now, on top of that, you put them back to about the 27, 28-yard line. So everything going kind of okay if you're a Notre Dame fan right now.
And for Notre Dame coming on the field, Coach Stanball has to be thinking, all right, guys, we need to get a stop. All right, we just need to get a stop, get a punt, get the ball back in some way, turnover, whatever. We need the ball back so we can get our offense out of some terrible field position.
And the other thing, Matt, I wanted to see is White's, does he check back into the game at some point? It looked like he went out to the sideline, didn't know if he went on his own or if there was a little, he was banged up a little bit. Again, not coming in the first play here, but we'll see what happens as they start things off. From the 27. And a great fake haul because Notre Dame was coming.
Yeah, he rode the fake well. Yeah. They're pulling that zone read, outside zone where Chwanski's running flat and trying to get to the perimeter. He keeps that ball in his belly for a long time, invites all the defenders there, and then pulls it last second, and then takes the linebackers to bring him down.
Looking to throw, has a receiver. That went all the way down to the 30-yard line on the pass completion as that went right into the hands of Joey Flail. So Flail came into the game with 34 catches for 576. That a big one there. That first down brought to you by DM2 Security. And just like that, North Schuylkill in business again. And it's Hall on the carry. And Hall finally going to go down.
And because North Schuylkill is being so successful with the running game, they're so successful with that, what they're doing is they're then playing that play action off of it. They're bringing the play action off of it and then throwing right behind where they suck the linebackers up.
The ball at the 32-yard line. Hall to throw. Has a receiver in the middle part of the field. He goes there. Double coverage, however. And there's a lot of bumping going on, but a good job defensively. That was almost, again, I used this on you last year, the Malachi Crunch, and you didn't know the Moloskis.
Yeah, you watch here, you credit number 5, Josh Ludlow. He's back at that safety spot, and he makes sure that Joey Flail does not have any chance of catching that ball, and he almost comes up with that turnover.
Hall has time, goes to the far side, and overthrows his intended receiver that came across, and that was Gavin Whalen.
And just like that, it's fourth down. Just like that, we're in fourth down territory, and you have to think North Schuylkill is going to go for it in this field position.
Matt, they're up-tempo. They move real fast. Are they going too fast right now?
I don't think they are. I think they're still just sitting in their game plan. I think if they can get a 2-3 touchdown lead, you'll see them slow down quite a bit.
4th and 10. To the corner they go, and that ball bobbled but out of bounds. That's as close as it gets to going in the end zone.
Absolutely, and that was Carl Brown again. Jake Hall putting a nice pass out there to Carl Brown, but just a little bit too much. And there's that stop that Notre Dame needed. They needed that stop, turnover on downs, so they get the ball back to their offense. And I'd like to see Coach Stanbaugh take a shot deep right away. Protect Quintano, keep him off the ground, bring in max protection, and try to get something deep with these receivers.
So first down and 10. Ball sits on the 30. Quintano goes to the ground. And then the big stick as Jackson Chwanski comes in once again. Tell you what, he is one tough guy.
And as a sophomore, 5'11", 215 pounds, and just
it's all
you
muscle.
Look at him, it's solid.
Yeah.
It's just solid.
He looks like a linebacker. Second down here. Quintano. He waited enough in there to get the pass completion, coming to the sideline, getting knocked out of bounds on a second catch in a row was Trevor Shea. And Shea, no indication on the first down. I didn't think it was.
I'm not quite sure what's going on over there.
Yeah, it should be third.
They already
okay.
moved the sticks.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a first down. Now they had fourth down, but it's third down.
So the officials need to get over there and set the chains correctly to make sure where they should be.
All right, so now they're doing it. They're getting it right.
I don't know why the far chain guy keeps coming forward. He needs to stay where he's at.
Well, Coach Stamba is trying to get some words there. So third down and short, high snap, on the ground they go. And
don't think he got that.
Yeah, I agree with you. It looked like maybe he was going to push forward, but he got taken back right away. Castellano didn't have a chance. This becomes an interesting call. Matt, you got to punt the ball away, do you not?
We're going to get another measurement this game, so we're going to double up. Double down on your measurements here. Now, this brings up, though, with them moving the chains around. How much is it on where it's supposed to be for them to see?
No, we'll find out now. Someone's going to be upset. I mean, it didn't look, from what we saw from here, it didn't look like he had it.
No, it didn't look like it. Looked like there was way too much penetration at the point of attack for him to pick up the first down.
Maybe short.
Oh, he brought out the credit card. It's that close.
I mean, that credit card came out. And hearing it from the crowd, they call it a fourth down. That's like the size of my finger maybe, right?
Yeah, not much at all. And if Notre Dame's not careful, one of their coaches is going to get a flag, which is really going to take this out of play.
So it's about a couple inches short. Okay, not even inches short.
Probably just less than an inch.
Yeah. So they got the punting unit in here. And there's just over 3 minutes remaining. Boy, there's a lot of confusion now. Do you try to get them to jump offside here?
I would try. I mean, it doesn't hurt. I mean, you have timeouts that you can't take with you. Why not?
They do not. And Garrido will send this one, and he'll get a roll. And now the defense is going to come out, and here comes the offense for North Schuylkill. They would like nothing more to go, and they thought they had that 21. They didn't get the 21. They'd like nothing more to score here to end the half.
And I think you'll see them go a little bit slower at this point in time. Try to get up to the ball and just use the clock and then just methodically move the ball down the field.
Today's game brought to you by Michael R. Glovis, financial advisor at Morgan Stanley, located at 101 Larry Holmes Drive, Suite 301 in Easton. For all your investment needs, call Michael R. Glovis at 610-559-6380. Morgan Stanley, Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. On the ground, they'll attack. And it's Chawanski. Chawanski with a big gaping hole and gets up towards about the 35-yard line.
And again, it's attacking between the tackles of Notre Dame's defense, staying between the tackles and getting north and south right away.
So second down, the ball at the 35. And I'll bring up a third down.
And that time, Tyler Garcia, number 33, the middle linebacker for Notre Dame, he was able to fight through the blocks and get to Jake Hall at the line of scrimmage to limit the gain on that second down play.
So Robbie Whites checks in here, the big fella, on third down and 1. Everyone expecting him to get the ball. He is. And Whites will move the chains. Another first down brought to you by DM2 Security.
And as we talked about, you can see North Schuylkill, they do get up to the line of scrimmage right away, but they are taking their time a little bit.
Pitch back to Chawanski. Chawanski busts inside, still on his feet, and still going. Gain about 7.5 yards. And the timeout on the field taken here with about under 2 minutes. And it's taken by North Schuylkill. I want to thank Amy Rogers for her hospitality today. And lucky I didn't sit down in the back of my chair, or else I would have sit down some good food coming in at halftime at the same time. But all she does here for Notre Dame. And, Matt, this becomes an interesting final 2 minutes. It's an interesting first half in itself. I say that because people are like, well, you expected this. It's supposed to go back and forth. But when Notre Dame stopped them at the 1.5 yard line over there, then there was a stop over here that was a credit card short. There's some big defensive plays in this game.
And I was going to mention that. I mean, I don't think we thought coming into this game what the role of defenses were going to be. The defenses really played a huge role in this game so far in keeping it at a 14-7 game, and that goes for both teams.
So both teams with a pair of timeouts remaining. Chawansi squared in there. They bring them both, and it is Josh, and Josh powers forward. And again, this one's going to be close. The marker on the far side looks like it's a first down, and it is. So another first down brought to you by DM2 Security.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see North Schuylkill anytime soon get out of this two tight end full backfield set.
Well, Hall's going to throw it in double coverage and still completes the pass. Wow, he threw it down there, and coming out of nowhere on double coverage was Joey Flail.
Yeah, as we said, they have two tight ends. They are not going downfield at all, so there's a receiver
Actually, I
and
don't think it was
two
Flail.
defenders. Was that Stanakis?
Yeah.
No, it is Joey Flail.
Flail.
He went up, and again, same thing we saw from Nadir Sanders. He went up, high pointed the ball, and was able to bring it down where only he can catch it.
So the ball all the way down to the 20-yard line, and now the clock will reset. We still have a minute and change remaining. Can you imagine North Schuylkill? They have the clock. There's no reason to leave Notre Dame with any time.
No, there's not. And you know with North Schuylkill, Coach Hall's thinking about this. All right, we have the ball in the second half too. So if we can get any kind of points out of this, that's a positive.
On the ground, Hall. And Hall will go in for the touchdown, 17 yards.
And they've really found, the North Schuylkill offense has really found something that they like, running the ball up the middle between the guards. They're getting a lot of success from Chawanski, from Whites, from Hall, getting the ball up the middle.
So a big run by Jake Hall. They do pump it up. Now, depending on the run back, first the extra point attempt by Metzner. He'll hear it from the crowd. And the extra point is straight through, 21-7. We thought we had that earlier. It was not. And it's 21-7. Take a look.
Here, get a look at the running play, and Hall just cuts it back. It's a quarterback counter to the right. You have the guard and tackle pulling, but he sees it to the left. He gets north-south, cuts it back to the left, and gets into the end zone. And again, North Schuylkill offense, they're finding something that they really like between the tackles, running north-south, getting vertical right away, not trying to get to the perimeter as much. They're getting up the field, and that's where they're getting a lot of success.
Well, like I said, the run back, the key to see what you're going to do if you're Coach Stambaugh. That being said, with two timeouts, I don't care where it is on the field unless it's maybe the 13-yard line, may not do anything, but he's going to.
I think you're going to see him go for something. He's going to go for it and try to push the ball down the field.
Nadir Sanders is back in the game and had some cramping. And they'll send this one, and it will be fielded at the 3-yard line and taken there by Ludlow. And Ludlow breakthrough, lost a football.
And it's still loose.
And North Schuylkill says they have it, but no indication yet. I think they're battling
There was a
underneath.
scramble for that ball. Ludlow hits the hole well, and you can see, can't quite make out. Somebody reached in from the left.
Wow.
And just
this is going to be a
pulls
big
that
call
out.
here. They're battling underneath there. Notre Dame's ball. North Schuylkill started jumping because they thought they automatically had the ball, but they give it to Notre Dame here, and Notre Dame with the football.
And credit Ryan Frenzy. He's on the bottom of that pile. He's the one that comes up with the ball. He maintains the possession for Notre Dame and giving them a chance to end this half with some points.
You're underneath that pile. You're pulling. You're tugging. You're tugging. You're pulling.
Yeah, and he had a grip on it, and he cradled over the ball to not allow any North Schuylkill Spartan in there to get any kind of hand on it.
So from the 29, Notre Dame dodges a bullet. The last thing we want to do is give the ball back to North Schuylkill. Now 44 seconds on the clock for Quintano. And Quintano's going to try to get some yards here. Gets a block on the outside, makes the turn, and then gets hit at the end of the play. Crowd wanted something. Coach Stambaugh may have a gripe. It's close. It's a close play, but, when you're out of bounds, you take a look at it.
It was close, and the receiver does not get a good block on 24, so there's the one hit. That's fine. Number 7's coming in, and I can see the argument. I can see the argument, definitely.
So the ball at the 40. Quintano going to try to gain some yards again, and Quintano pushes forward. They may have to bust a timeout here. So stop the clock with about 25 seconds left. They do have one timeout remaining. Coach Stambaugh wants to make sure he talks to the official because he's not happy.
No, he's not happy at all, and he needs to be careful here as well to make sure that he doesn't cost his team any yards.
Great game here tonight. So glad you could join us. Hope you're enjoying all our coverage here on D11Sports.com. Our game of the week presented by St. Luke Sports Medicine. I know we have a bunch of reporters out and about tonight as well. And, again, we keep saying, Kieran Lencheski's here. She does a great job since jumping on board this fall. She did our first game with Easton and Pocono Mountain East. And when she came back, she felt like, hey, like she's done it for so long. She goes, now I know what to do. I'm good. I'm good to go.
And she comes on campus. She's like a celebrity on the Notre Dame campus. A lot of talking out of the Notre Dame receivers as they line up.
2nd down and 1 from the 49. Castellano gets the pass towards him. Will get the first down, and Castellano will have a little bit more down to the 40. The clock will stop momentarily.
This is very similar to what they did before. They're just going to get Castellano coming out of the backfield.
First down brought to you by DM2 Security, and puts it right at the 40-yard line. 15 seconds on the clock, taking a lot of time here, looking to throw. And they'll go far side and get out of bounds. And the clock will stop after a big stick. Not sure
The Notre Dame receiver gets knocked out of bounds.
That was Sanders.
But he makes the catch, gets out of bounds, stops the clock. So 7 seconds, you still have a chance to do something, and you saw that timeout. The timeout probably with 7 seconds, you're not going to have the opportunity to call it at all.
So 3rd down and 5 from the 35. High snap for Quintano. He comes to the near side, that one incomplete. And flying across was Keegan Curry. And the crowd asking for a helmet hit. I mean, that came right at us.
He leads in with his hands.
So 5 seconds left. Again, you gain those 7 yards, 8 yards. You may bring Garrido out to kick one because he's got the range. Here, though, a little bit different. You're talking about a 52-yarder. So they'll call their final timeout for Coach Stambaugh here at the half.
And at that point, without that timeout, Muhammad had to come off the field because of his helmet coming off, but he can come back on now since they called a timeout.
Now, it seems like it's a long game, but at the same time, it's right on time, basically. It just seems like there's so many plays that have been run throughout this first half.
And I think it's what it is that both teams have played so fast.
Yeah.
It just seems like there's so much that has happened so far in this first half.
So it'll be a 3rd down and 5 from the 35. Again, I don't think that's going to matter because you have no timeouts left. So you're either doing some gadget play or you're going to throw one into the end zone at this point. There's no really time for you to go sideline in a couple seconds.
Yeah, I don't think there's any chance to get to the sideline. I think you have to stay. I'm not sure what's going on. They're telling him Muhammad has to come off, even though they called the timeout.
So Muhammad out, the ball at the 35. Likely the last play of the first half. Quintano gets flushed out. Quintano going to try to throw it on the run. He throws it, puts it in the middle, has a receiver that bounces up and incomplete. Boy, there was an opportunity there on the second effort by Gavin Gibbs as the ball went straight up in the air. And boy, oh boy, that changed.
That was a close one. Gavin Gibbs nearly comes down with that. Credit Colin Quintano with escaping pressure, eluding pressure, and able to get out and get a ball down into the end zone.
Yeah, so 21-7 is your score at the half. Kieran Lencheski is waiting for Coach Phil Stambaugh, and we head down to Kieran right now.
Thanks, Al. Here with Crusaders head coach Phil Stambaugh. Coach, thoughts on the first half?
We need to stop shooting ourselves in the foot offensively and get stops defensively. It's not a surprise that it's this type of game. We just need to play a little bit better.
Thank you. Good luck.
We appreciate Coach Stambaugh taking the time to talk to Kieran at the half, and he's lost his voice. It's only the first half. You know how intense this game is to this point.
Exactly. I'm not shocked at all that he's lost his voice with the amount of yelling he's been doing. And again, it's not necessarily that you're yelling in a bad way. You're yelling to get your voice out to the kids on the field. You have a great fan base behind you. They're being loud. They're making a lot of noise. You need to project that voice across the field to your players.
Yeah, we're at the half. It will be a 20-minute halftime show as they will introduce or talk about the 1961 team here at Notre Dame. And we will return. You're watching our D11Sports.com Game of the Week presented by St. Luke Sports Medicine. The score at the half, North Schuylkill 21, Notre Dame 7. Back after this.
Medical emergencies can and do happen during COVID-19.
One American has a heart attack or stroke every 40 seconds.
And one American dies from stroke every 4 minutes.
Heart attacks and strokes will not wait until a pandemic runs its course.
It is not safe to sit home and hope the symptoms pass. It is safe to come to St. Luke's.
Our EMS crews and ambulances
are ready for you, taking every measure to keep you safe.
At St. Luke's Orthopedic Care, you can trust us with your hands, feet, shoulders, hips, and knees. Because healthy bones and joints mean you can do more. You can trust us to recommend the right approach to care, including joint-sparing treatments and therapies. And when surgery is the only choice, we offer options to help you heal faster, including technology-assisted joint replacements and muscle-sparing hip surgery. St. Luke's, the orthopedic care you trust, now more than ever. At St. Luke's Orthopedic Care, you can...
We are back. 21-7 is your score at the half. And interesting first half it was. And we'll take you through the scoring so far as we wait for the band from North Schuylkill to make his way through. Colin Quintana, Logan Castellano, 16 yards. That came at the 7:09 mark. That took a lot of time off the clock, almost 5 minutes. And Notre Dame went on top. They did everything they had to do to go up 7-0. Then Robbie White's, all 300-plus pounds of him, went in 7 yards for the touchdown to make it 7-7. That came at the 4:31 mark. That was your score at the end of the first quarter. Second quarter we went. Jackson Chawanski took it. He went in 37 yards for the touchdown. That came about 1 minute and 3 seconds into the second quarter to make it 14-7 North Schuylkill. Jay Call then just went 17 yards for the touchdown with 54 seconds left. And that's where the score is at this point, 21-7. Matt, interesting, and we may see some highlights a little bit later, but Notre Dame stopped them at the less than a half-yard line. And, there was about 5 minutes that went by, but eventually they get 21. How important is it Notre Dame to come out here in the second half and, really set the tone? I mean, obviously, they get the ball second, not first. It's a big difference.
And I think North Schuylkill will come out, and I would think they're going to come out and slow it down a little bit. Try to play a little bit slower, rely on that running game heavily, and try to force Notre Dame into making some plays defensively. They haven't been able to stop the run up the middle yet. And I think that's something that the defensive staff at Notre Dame has to look at, has to review at halftime and come out and make some adjustments. And they need to make some sort of stop. They need to get the ball back to their offense. If they can get a stop on the first drive and then get some points, I think we're in for a whole different ballgame.
Well, we'll see what happens. Right now we go down to the field and the North Schuylkill High School marching band. Enjoy halftime.
Ladies and gentlemen, have a warm round of applause for the Spartan marching band of North Schuylkill. Great job. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special ceremony recognizing the 60-year anniversary of the Notre Dame High School football team. 60 years ago, on a clear
Well, great performance there by the North Schuylkill marching band at the half. Now they'll do the presentation for the 1961 team, and we will listen into the PA announcer once they get set up. 21-7 is your score at the half. And right now, North Schuylkill leading.
I'll take the fries if you want.
So we'll go down in the field. We'll try to see if we can listen in.
Notable highlights of that game. Notre Dame's running back, Jimmy Case, tallied 2 touchdowns. One in the electrifying 73-yard punt return to put the Crusaders ahead late in the third quarter, 13-6. Senior running back Tommy Shive pulled 2 blocks, allowing Case to score. Co-captains Bernie Ortwine, tackle, and Joe Ortwine, quarterback, were outstanding while leading their team to Notre Dame's moral victory. Senior defensive end Sammy Pesha was credited with 11 tackles. Coach Lou Molnar declared, "They tied us. We didn't tie them." Notre Dame's heroics and its moral victory put the school on the map en route to a 4-3-1 season, which marks the first winning football season in the school's brief 4-year history. The season concluded with a win over Notre Dame's arch rival, Allentown Central Catholic, to solidify Notre Dame's first winning season. Please extend a warm Notre Dame welcome to the 1961 former head coach and players who represented here tonight, who pioneered Notre Dame football for future generations. First, we have head coach Lou Molnar. Overall coaching record of 18-5-3, which included 9 shutouts. Lou's first season, 4-3-1 season in 1961, was followed by a 6-2-1 in 1962. Bethlehem Chi and an all-state center while playing at Moravian College. Please welcome, with a warm round of applause, Coach Lou Molnar. Players represented tonight from the 1961 team include offensive running back and defensive cornerback and kicker Tom Shive. Fullback John Hansick. All-state center and middle linebacker Jim Jankowski. All-state tight end Andy Schwartz. The quarterback Frank Moisten. Tight end Danny Posovac. An all-state offensive running back and defensive cornerback and punter Jimmy Case. We also would like to remember the deceased coaches and players from 1961. The deceased coaches include Ferdy Burkhart, Jim Hodrick, Bill D'Onofrio, Jim Case Sr., and Lou Gehrig. Deceased members also include Zeke Zalewski, Bob Morrison, Tom Zalecki, Tony Liberati, Dave Gardner, Jerry Popovich, Joe Tedisco, All-State tackle Jude Cannon, Mike Burkhart, Lou Stikowski, All-State tackle Dick Schmidt, Toby Newman, Ed Saransky, Jim Whiteacre, and Jim Sakarakis. Thank you for welcoming and remembering the 1961 Crusader football team. Again, please welcome and give a round of applause to Coach Lou Molnar and the players of the first winning season in Notre Dame school history. Way to go, guys. Thank you.
Wow, first winning season in Notre Dame history. 1961 team being recognized. Some members of that team here at the half, and it's always great to bring that team's, whatever era it is, to get recognized in front of the home fans.
It is, and, had a chance. They were out at the coin flip as well with both Notre Dame and North Schuylkill before the game. And to see the players that went up and talked to them and just introduced themselves, and Coach Stamball talking to them, and Coach Stamball knowing exactly who everyone was and what part they played in the history of the Notre Dame program, that's great to see that they're able to continue to build that rich history, and in moving forward into a new decade.
We are at the half in this one as
a few minutes left before both teams are coming out. Notre Dame starting to make their way to the field.
Yeah, let's take a quick break. We'll come back with the second half of play. You're watching our D11sports.com Game of the Week presented by St. Luke Sports Medicine. Back after this.
St. Luke's Orthopedic Care. Extraordinary care in motion.
Do you have a scheduled therapy appointment? Keep it. Need to start therapy? Physical therapy at St. Luke's is here for you. If you can't come to the office, see your therapist with a virtual visit from your home. Virtual visits are available for physical, occupational, and speech therapy appointments. You can use your smartphone, tablet, or computer to connect. So don't miss your scheduled therapy appointment. Call Physical Therapy at St. Luke's today and ask about a virtual visit. Do you have a scheduled?
We are back. 21-7 is your score. You're watching our D11sports.com Game of the Week presented by St. Luke Sports Medicine as both teams are making their way back onto the field. North Schuylkill leading this one again by 14 points, and they will get the football first. St. Luke's is the region's largest sports medicine provider, covering more than 200,000 student enrollment and 40,000 student athletes in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, covering 8 counties and providing the most comprehensive and advanced treatment for athletic injuries. St. Luke's offers athletic training, orthopedic care, physical therapy, and concussion management, plus sports performance training for individual athletes and teams. During these extraordinary times, you can trust St. Luke Sports Medicine to provide extraordinary care. Today's game also brought to you by Ringer's Roost Tavern at 1801 West Liberty Street in Allentown. Enjoy their great burgers, wings, and more while you dine inside or outside for lunch or dinner. For more information, call 610-437-4941 or drop on by to Ringer's Roost Tavern in Allentown. The 11 Sports thanks Michael R. Glovis, financial advisor at Morgan Stanley in Easton, for his sponsorship of the Game of the Week. For all your investment needs, call Michael R. Glovis at 610-559-6380. Located at 101 Larry Holmes Drive, Suite 301 in Easton, PA. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. DM2 Security is locally owned and operated security company, presently serving most all of Pennsylvania. They provide all phases of security services for your home and business. They offer free estimates and have very competitive pricing and superior customer service. Let DM2 Security start protecting you today. Check them out at the web at www.dm2security.com. It's a small price to pay for your peace of mind. If you're a student from any District 11 school interested in broadcasting, journalism, or photography, check out d11sports.com. Follow your dream, get close to the action, and take part of our student internship program. For more information, contact your athletic director, or you can reach out to myself or Dave at d11sports.com. We're seeing it with Kieran Lincheski. We got a number of student reporters out and about today for Friday Night Football. We have golf coming up on Tuesday, which you'll be a part of as well. This is playoff atmosphere now starting to come in for a number of different sports. I was at the District 11 Tennis Championships yesterday as well. So there's a lot going on here as we get ready to start the third quarter of play. But, our students doing a good job.
Absolutely. And, they're doing a great job keeping us up to date on what's going on around the Lehigh Valley because we just can't get everywhere, which is unfortunate. But as you said, it's almost that mid-October time, so the postseason and postseason getting on the way in a lot of sports and a lot of the other sports, postseason starting to take shape. We talked about this game here particularly, and in talking with Coach Stanball, it's a matter of, okay, they expect to see them again. Mm-hmm. And it's just a matter of, okay, do we want to see them in the Lehigh Valley again, or do we want to see them up in Schuylkill County? So that's what they're playing for right now, they feel. If they can get this game going, and they're playing for where the next one's going to be at.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens in the second half. Again, defense here going to be huge. Bangor, by the way, leading Lee Heighton 28-14. KC Wallace is at that game right now. And Freedom leading the Whitehall Zephyrs. Marquette Farrell covering that game. We have Stroudsburg being covered by Nathan Reich. A couple other games being covered as well. So we get underway here in the third quarter, 21-14. This one's going to fly right about the 1 yard line, and it'll be fielded there and picked up. And a lot of space on the outside can make the turn. And Joey Flail, we have called his name a lot tonight. Made that great catch on the far sideline. And, Matt, we talk about the first half. There was a couple plays that were questionable. Obviously, there was a confusion with the first down marker where it was. And that may have cost a first down, number one. And then there was a hit, out of bounds. Was it, close out of bounds? Could have, and then, a helmet possibly hit. So there's a couple of calls that were real close to the action. But, you got to start fresh here in the third quarter. And if you're Notre Dame, you got to get them off the field. And if you're North Schuylkill, you just want to keep pounding forward and extend this lead to 28-7.
And right now you have Robbie White's back in the backfield again. So, North Schuylkill is going to come out and just try to run the ball. But a little confusion now as officials trying to get some time added back onto the clock. I wanted to put 8 more seconds back on the clock.
Well, we'll see how that 8 seconds maybe pans out a little bit later on. On the ground they go, powering forward across the 30-25. Matt, I just heard a fan yell, "Get the ball," and I'm going to ask you that question. Chawansi's so lethal when he makes a move and goes forward. Do we see Notre Dame trying to smack that ball out a little bit more, or they just continue to play the way they are?
I think at some point they will, but you have to take the chances calculated. You have to make it a calculated risk where you have the tackle secured and you go in and try to rip that ball out.
On the ground, diving forward, it'll be a third down and short.
And I would think if you have Robbie White's running the ball, I think that would be the guy. That would be the guy that you go after to try to rip the ball out of his hands.
What do you say, the big fella?
Nothing against the big fella.
I just
think, between him and Shawansky, who are you going to take the chance with?
Well, right now I think 79 is getting the ball. And he is going to power through, and he powers forward. And will indeed, I have no signal yet. Yes, they do move the chains. First down brought to you by DM2 Security. So first down of the second half.
But so far for Notre Dame, you're tightening up that middle a little bit. You're not giving as many yards as you had in the first half. So that's starting to look like a win for adjustments in the favor of the Crusaders.
So first down, and they stay on the ground. Chawanski's a little spin move, nowhere to go. Maybe gained about a yard, and good job defensively by the Crusaders.
Exactly. They're still in credit North Schuylkill sticking with their game plan. We're going to continue to run the ball and continue to force Notre Dame into a stop. Have them make a stop on us.
Great job by the birthday man, Bill Lewis, pushing all the buttons and getting the crew. We actually got the cameras up a little higher over this crowd a little bit because I saw some big heads popping in the way. Here comes the yellow jersey swarming in and making another big play. And they continue to attack here defensively, and that time it was Anthony Caiazzo.
And this is the first time I think we've seen Notre Dame's defense actually put North Schuylkill in a position where they're not necessarily in a running situation. They have to put the ball in the air, and this is going to be critical for Notre Dame.
3rd down and 7. And Hall says, no, we don't. I'm just going to run it up the middle and just take in another first down, brought to you by DM2 Security. I tell you what, he has run effectively tonight every time he's done it.
And he's run effectively because Chawanski's run effectively. And I think that little zone read and counter is what they're going to continue to look to do because it's so hard. You want to go tackle Chawanski, and then you forget about Hall coming back the other way.
Another carry here by Chawanski. You know, we go back to the first quarter of this game. Notre Dame had the football. And Notre Dame took about 5 minutes off the clock. They scored a touchdown. This looks like Notre Dame's drive, kind of, taking the clock, taking your time. But if you score here, here's Hall. Didn't think he had anything, and now we'll get to the outside, and Hall will get across midfield down to about the 47-yard line and bring up a 3rd down and short. For the Spartans.
I think when Notre Dame coaching staff goes to look at that play, they're going to see that they have guys out of gap. They're not maintaining their gap integrity. We talked about that last week. Dane Vassallo, the defensive end, he goes underneath the kickout block, but yet there's nobody there on the perimeter to bring down Jake Hall.
Chawanski finds a hole, gets another first down, brought to you by DM2 Security, and he continues to do his job every time he gets a football. Again, we look back at last year during the district championship, he was just running all over the place.
And for Notre Dame, you've at least maintained, you've at least held on to that a little bit.
This time it's Chawanski again. There's a flag thrown in at the end of that play.
And where it's thrown from, you have to think this is going to be a holding call going against North Schuylkill. I think that's the first penalty called on the North Schuylkill offensive lineman. Talking about this game earlier this week, talking about that offensive line, and it was with an official in the Lehigh Valley, and they were talking about North Schuylkill. They do a great job, their offensive linemen, of holding, but holding well where they don't get caught. Unfortunately, that time they do get caught.
So the penalty will bring it back. Hall to throw. He has a receiver far side and will connect. Boy, I tell you what, that ball was delivered perfectly into the hands of Joey Flail.
And there wasn't bad coverage on the play either. Alex Cruz Jr., the cornerback, was out in coverage on Joey Flail, but there's just that little bit of horizontal separation. Flail gets about 1 yard to 2 yards to the sideline, and Jake Hall puts the ball on the money for Flail to bring that in.
So the ball down to the 15-yard line. In business right now is Hall and company. And Hall is going to take it and weaves his way closer to about the 10. They can get a first down without a touchdown.
And unlike the first half, this half you see North Schuylkill going much, much slower in their offensive play calling.
Pitch this one across. Chawanski wiggling through, and Chawanski's still on his feet. Gets inside the 5-yard line, down to about the 4. And it'll bring up a 3rd down in about a half a yard or so.
And you had 2 Notre Dame players who had Chawanski in the backfield, and he just does a quick jump cut back to the inside and picks up good yardage on 2nd down.
So 3rd down and 1. White's with it, and they stand him up. I don't know if he got the first down here. It's all on the spot. There's no indication. That was the first time they stopped number 79.
It looks like the ball's going to be on the 5, and I think they need to get inside the 5 for the first down. So 4th down Notre Dame, we're in a similar situation where we were in the first half, just not on the 1-yard line.
Matt, do you give him the ball again?
I think you do. And, again, you're up 14, and you put them deep in their own territory. So you field position-wise, you're in great shape.
So Whites and Chawanski in the backfield. They'll go for it here on 4th and 1. And they'll fake it. They'll give it to Chawanski. Chawanski gets a first down. Chawanski's still on his feet and gets in for the touchdown. 5-yard touchdown by Josh Chawanski to add to the lead.
And at some point we're going to have to start mentioning this offensive line and the ability that they're having open up holes against this Crusader defense.
That comes at 5:40 on the clock. Extra point coming up here by Mentzner. And that one is up and through. That's the first possession and the first touchdown in the second half. And just like that, it is 28-7 in favor of North Schuylkill.
You see the right guard, number 67, and the right tackle, number 50 for North Schuylkill pulling. It was number 50 who picks up a blitzing linebacker for Notre Dame, number 33, Tyler Garcia, that Chawanski cuts off of, and that's the spot where he attacks then, that linebacking spot where he vacated, and that's where he gets the extra yards for the touchdown.
That interesting, it's like pick your poison right now. If you look at the scoring, Whites has scored a touchdown, Jackson Chawanski has a touchdown, Jake Hall has a touchdown, and Josh Chawanski has a touchdown. So they're spreading the wealth.
And overshadowed right now is the play of Joey Flail at wide receiver.
That's correct.
He's had 3 huge catches for them. I mean, Coach Stanball said this offense was scary good and better than last year, and I think we're seeing that tonight.
That ball gets bobbled, and it's going to be a tough play to get. Now the ball's still loose on their feet. They dive for it and still going. And North Schuylkill will come up with the ball inside the 10-yard line. As the ball was bobbled there by Ludlow, he thought he had it, came back. Take a look.
Yeah, he had it in his hands, and as it was coming down, just dropped from his hands, and he lost grip of it. And credit the North Schuylkill kick coverage team getting down there and getting the ball.
So it looks like this ball may be, the ball's on the 10. They have the markers. They should be going away. They will. So it'll be 1st and goal for North Schuylkill. And this could be your game right here.
I think that if they can't get a stop here, I think this is the beginning of a longer second half than we expected.
So 1st and goal from the 10. Hall takes it through the middle. And a number of yellow jerseys coming in there, including Dan Vassallo.
Yeah, you had a number of players in there. Dan Vassallo, he was the first one. You had also number 9, Anthony Caiazzo. He's coming in to make a tackle as well. And I don't think you're going to see North Schuylkill do anything risky right now and just take their time.
Well, you say nothing risky. They're going to the back of the end zone, and that's a touchdown. A 10-yard touchdown into the hands, I think, again, of Joey Flail.
And that's the 5th North Schuylkill player to score a touchdown tonight, almost like they're trying to just spread it around to keep everybody honest that's watching this film later on.
So it takes a lot out of this crowd as that comes just 30 seconds after the last touchdown, and this will make it 35-7 on the extra point. So we're 5 minutes left in the third quarter. And look at this placement of this ball. I mean,
and again, a little bit of interference there, and just strong hands by Joey Flail. Going up against number 35 for Notre Dame, Matt Hatsakis, the starting cornerback. He just goes up and just separates the ball from the defender and doesn't give him any chance to make a play on the ball.
So, prior to the game, we always try to highlight a key player. And here, you don't know sometimes in some teams. It's like, pick who you're going to get. And, we decided to go with Jake Hall. So Jake Hall tonight has a 17-yard touchdown run. He has a touchdown pass to Joey Flail. He's made those runs up the middle at the same time. He's been a big part of this offense, which we expected anyway. But everyone, like you said, is involved in this offense.
Yeah, and I think that's the scary part when you sit there and look at that they have talent and ability all over the place. We still haven't really seen Carl Brown and what he can do at the other wide receiver spot. We haven't seen Evan Stanakis with a catch or Gavin Whalen with a catch yet.
On the return, maybe the best return of the night, Matt. I mean, it finally gives some life into this team by Muhammad.
Yeah, they moved Muhammad back to the middle of the kick return. He was over on the wing before. He catches it, and he hits it full speed. He has to be careful with the ball, as we saw on the one punt return or the kick return. Just have to be careful with that, where you don't lose and get it knocked out for carrying it away from your body. Another issue with the chains again.
I think they got it. So 35-7. The score was 21-7 at the half. 2 touchdowns within a matter of 30 seconds. 5 yards from Josh Chawansky, and then Joey Flail, a 10-yard reception from Jake Hall. And now Notre Dame in a must-scoring drive here, down by 28. Great placement of the ball, but, even better on the tackle.
Yeah, and I think you still, if you're Notre Dame, you still need to throw those balls. You can't just commit to just throwing deep balls all the time. You still need to keep these underneath routes, because they have the potential with these players, these wide receivers, to break one for a long gain.
2nd down and 4 from the 41. Powering forward is Castellano, bumps into the official, and then loses the football. Looks like Notre Dame has the ball back. That would have been devastating.
Absolutely, and we talked about going after the ball, the Notre Dame defense going after the ball, and it looks like North Schuylkill taking that page, and they're going after the ball, trying to get it back to their offense.
1st down, once again brought to you by DM2 Security. Inside 4 minutes. Sideline pass and completion and a 1st down, brought to you by DM2 Security. So Sanders makes another catch.
And again, it's good choice by Notre Dame and by Quintano, finding Sanders on the comeback route on the far side. With the secondary of North Schuylkill bailing, you can hit those routes underneath.
He had a receiver and then throws this one away as he gets hit.
Tell you what, someone's going to have to, on that offensive line, has to find and have eyes on Jackson Chawansky. Luckily for Quintano, he gets the ball away just in time to avoid a big hit as he was running full speed at him.
This one in control by North Schuylkill as Notre Dame trying to get right back in it. I mean, obviously time is not on their side. And right now, Matt, they're taking time off the clock at the same time. Notre Dame not going fast. They need to score. They know if they score, they're okay. If they don't score, a little flare pass, nowhere to go. Well, now there's a lot of room on the far side if he gets a block. He gets a huge block. Does he make the turn? He does. Down the sidelines. All that. He probably ran like, 40, 50 yards. But Muhammad ends up getting about 8 yards on the game. Look where this ball goes.
He does, and you have to credit in Deer Sanders. He did the right thing by not coming after Adam Scott, number 83, and laying a huge block on him. It would have been a blindside block, but now there's a flag on the far side late after the play.
Huh. So you run across. I mean, what happened there is two things. Number one, you're not giving up. Number two, you got the crowd right back in on a big play. You get this crowd on your side a little bit, maybe some, momentum going through. Don't know what the call was on the far side. And it looks like it's maybe going to be on Notre Dame. It's Muhammad's walking to the sideline like he's frustrated. So the penalty is on Coach Phil Stanbaugh talking things over. Looks like maybe some words after the play. That's what it seems like anyway.
Yeah, it looks like it had to be something after the play. I mean, he was deep in North Schuylkill sideline after that run.
So instead of getting maybe an 8-yard pickup, now all of a sudden it is 3rd down and 20.
And you had yourself at like a 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3.
So 3rd down and 20. They'll go back at it and try to get it. And there's a chunk of it here. And put you in manageable 4th down territory.
It absolutely does. You're at a position where now you can pick up this 4th down.
So 4th down for the Crusaders, under 3 to play. And they get him to jump.
So this is going to give him a 4th and 1. Maybe a first down. This is going to be right by there.
Yeah, this is going to be right on it. Yep.
Oh, they're giving him the first down.
They're moving. Yeah, I've seen those chains move sometimes before. It's given by the officials. So the first down, brought to you by DM2 Security. And the crowd a little bit more alive here at Notre Dame after that play. Quintano, he just got absolutely hammered on the play, and it was Chawanski once again.
Yeah, Jackson Chawanski again. Coming through that offensive line free. No one's touching him at all. He's timing it up, coming through free, and getting to Quintano to not give him any time to throw the ball.
Now we're talking about the offense that they're doing, and you can still say that the defense has been sensational tonight for North Schuylkill. They made some big plays, and number 39 has been a big part of it. So 2nd down and 10 from the 34. Near side on the pass play. And the bump and run, the crowd is up on the reception made by Trevor Shea. Another first down brought to you by DM2 Security. And right now, this becomes the best drive since the opening drive for the Crusaders.
It does, and they're moving the ball around. They're getting it to different spots. But as Coach Stanbaugh said before halftime, they have to stop shooting themselves in the foot.
So Quintano has the offense going, and Quintano's going to try to gain some of that back, lose the football. The ball just sitting there, and you just said shooting yourself in the foot, and the ball was recovered on the play by Stephen Davis.
Yeah, Stephen Davis, number 50. You're going to see, looked like Quintana should have followed Logan Castellano, 21, with the lead block. But again, credit the North Schuylkill defenders just punching their hand in there, knocking the ball free. And then, as you said, it was just sitting there, and everybody was just staring at it. Nobody was going after the ball.
So North Schuylkill comes up with another turnover. Really, that's the third turnover for the Crusaders, I believe, or second recovered.
Second recovered, third fumble, because Castellano had the fumble that was recovered by the lineman.
Hall comes in near side. Maybe picks up a yard and a half or so.
Credit 28, Caden Grube, the cornerback. He stays in on the tackle, but he can't continue to try to tackle Jake Hall high. He's got to go low on his legs and try to get him down low. He can't go up high and expect to bring him down.
Hope you're enjoying our coverage here. Our D11sports.com Game of the Week presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine. It started 7-0 in favor of the Crusaders, but since then, 35 unanswered by North Schuylkill. We're in the late third quarter of this game. And you can just see this team. I mean, coming in, right now, this team, if I'm correct, well, I wrote it down somewhere, so I got to find it. If they hold on, this would be their 15th straight win. Their last loss was to Tamaqua in the championship in, I think, 2019. Last year they ran the table, winning the championship. Chwanski on the far side, so they get a stop here.
Yeah, and last year, games were over after the championship.
So bring up the punting unit.
What is it? Is this the first
punt?
First punt by North Schuylkill tonight?
Yeah, Trevor Minalda.
So you had the offensive line and coaching staff down on the bench talking about protection. They're going to have to figure out a way to keep an eye on Jackson Chwanski so that they can give Colin Quintano time to find these receivers.
Nadir Sanders stands on his own 45-yard line. And if you're wondering, I think they can run this clock out.
I think you're right. Looks like they're going to.
So time winds down in the third quarter. We head to the fourth. All North Schuylkill in this one. 35-7. You're watching our D11sports.com Game of the Week presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine.
St. Luke's knows that trust is the foundation of all relationships. It's earned over time. It's the type of relationship you should have with your healthcare team. While our healthcare needs are different, one thing is constant. St. Luke's is focused on building a lasting relationship with you, earning your trust and putting your well-being first. When it comes to great healthcare, trust is essential. St. Luke's, the care you trust, now more than ever. At St. Luke's Orthopedic Care, you can trust us with your hands, feet, shoulders, hips, and knees. Because healthy bones and joints mean you can do more. You can trust us to recommend the right approach to care, including joint-sparing treatments and therapies. And when surgery is the only choice, we offer options to help you heal faster, including technology-assisted joint replacements and muscle-sparing hip surgery. St. Luke's, the orthopedic care you trust, now more than ever. At St. Luke's Orthopedic Care.
We are back, 3 in the books. Al DiCarlo, Matt Avancho, Kieran Lincheski, Dave Micah, the birthday boy, also in the house. Getting a lot of good, birthday. You're not singing for the guy, Bill Lewis, 25, quarter century. Don't give the guy any respect. Unbelievable.
Listen, he's all business right now.
He is.
Let the man be all business.
All right, start of the fourth quarter. So they'll punt the ball away. Again, this is the first punt of the night for Trevor Minalda. And this one goes straight up, so they'll get great field position depending on where the ball lands.
Now you have to think it's going to be it was touched at the 28-yard line.
Yeah.
Which is it's coming back to.
But if you're Notre Dame, you had a chance to score in the last drive. You could not. Now you got a really, really short field. Again, the time, yeah, is that a factor? Absolutely. Do you need to punch this in right away? Yes, you do.
Yeah, I think it has to be quick. I think, again, we haven't really seen them take any deep shots recently.
So the ball sits at the 29, or does it?
No, they move it up to the 25.
So maybe it wasn't touched. All right. They'll go with trips to the near side for Colin Quintano. 2 receivers far side. Now in motion. Here's Quintano. Here comes the pressure. Nowhere to go. And Quintano's just going to throw this one away. And Quintano's slow getting up.
Absolutely, he's slow getting up.
Obviously, that's the biggest question.
I mean, he's taking a beating tonight, actually. And I believe backup quarterback, we'll get a look at this here, but it was just all-out blitz. And not even all-out blitz, just didn't block anybody.
Yeah, it looked like it was his ankle. I don't know if it got rolled on or just coming across.
And now you have Nadir Sanders coming in playing the backup quarterback.
So from the 25. And nowhere to go. Again, things start changing, and, flying through the defense was Adam Scott. And another defensive play and a big one. Right now, Notre Dame going backward, not forward.
Yeah, and this is tough for Notre Dame. You're down your quarterback, and you're basically going out of a wildcat right now with Nadir Sanders at quarterback.
So Colin Quintano is at the trainer's table, and he looks shaken up. This one thrown, and there's a touchdown. 28-yard touchdown pass. Gets the crowd on their feet. And it goes from Sanders to Muhammad.
Yeah, you're going to see some blitz come again, some pass rush. You have Chwansky. He came on the blitz to the far side, and it's just a good ball thrown by Nadir Sanders, a little bit underthrown, but the secondary playing well under that as well and not able to get a hand on the ball at all.
So Nadir Sanders to Muhammad. And now Garrido with the extra point attempt. And that ball is not only good, it's gone. I don't know where it ended up.
Oh, that's over on I believe that's the 11th green at Green Pond Country Club.
So wakes up the crowd, makes it 35-14. The concern on the sideline is Quintano. Quintano, they're working on it looks like his knee, and he was shaking his head, and hopefully he is okay.
Yeah, they're looking at they're checking his knee, looking at both legs so that they can compare how that is structurally. But knowing him, he's going to come back. He wants to battle back. He's going to be a competitor. He wants to be in this game. He wants to battle till the end. He's a team captain, team leader. He's been the leader of this offense for 3 years. He wants to lead them until the end.
So the touchdown gets the Notre Dame fans on their feet. And they'll kick this one away. And that ball will be returned. I'll tell you what, there's a spark here for the Crusaders all of a sudden. But is there time here, down 21?
And that's going to be the thing. Is there time, and can you handle and stop this running game?
So we'll see what happens here in the fourth quarter. And if you're wandering the clock, under 11, 35-14. Well, we talked about the turnovers so far. Here, defensively, you want to force a turnover. See if your team can. You force a turnover right here deep in the zone, and you can very much get right back into this game. From the 13, they'll go near side. That ball bobbled. Incomplete.
That's a big start on first down. Now you're putting the second and long. So running the ball is still an option, but less of an option as this game goes on, where you need to get some yards.
So they'll punch it back on the ground. Here comes a huge, huge third down.
So if you're Notre Dame, if you think North Schuylkill is going to throw the ball, you have to think it's going in the direction of number 32, Joey Flail. He's the one who's made the catches all night long, so you have to have eyes on him.
A low snap, and they're going up top, and that one incomplete. So Notre Dame comes up huge here defensively, and they will get the football back.
And it looks like they're going to get the football back minus their starting quarterback, Colin Quintana, who's still on the training table. I'm thinking he's not going to be entering the game the rest of the way here.
Yeah, he's got an ice pack on his knee, towards his knee area. So we hope he is okay. And then right now, it's Muhammad going to return it. Right at midfield. This could be returned. Let's see what Muhammad does. Does he take it? He does now. Makes one move and tries to escape, loses the football, and they battle for it. There's a flag at the end of that play. Diving on it were the Crusaders, and it was Anthony Caiazzo, I believe, was the last guy that was on there.
Yeah, I think they're going to get Notre Dame. I think they're going to get him with a block in the back as you see him coming through, and that's a terrible call. And unless they're going face mask against North Schuylkill, which I didn't see. I don't know if we'll get a chance to see that replay again. All right, so we take a look at this. Muhammad there, no face mask, none of that. And that is not a block in the back. That is a bad call against Notre Dame, unfortunately.
You know, also at the end of that play, Dane Vassallo came off to the sideline. Don't know if his hand got stepped on, but he looks like he don't even want to talk to the trainers. He's like, I'm good.
Yeah, you can get that looked at tomorrow. Yeah, he's looking at his left hand, I believe, so let's just hope he's right-handed.
So under 10 to play. Looking to throw, and this one hangs up there, and almost a catch. Boy, that's shoestring, and trying to hold on to that was Muhammad.
And if he would have come up with that, that would have been the catch. He got his hands out there. He gets it before it hits the ground, but as he's rolling, he's just not able to hold on to it. You see this, he gets the ball, and as he's rolling, elbow gets knocked and knocks the ball loose.
That'll bring up a second down. For Sanders. Here comes the rush. Sanders goes right back up top in traffic. That one incomplete.
And what you have to look at now offensively for Notre Dame is what is the offense that you have in that Nadir Sanders is comfortable with. he takes the practice as wide receiver all week long, and then now you're pushed into that quarterback position. So does that close up the playbook a little bit for Notre Dame? And so far we've seen them throw deep each time. Is that all that we're going to have?
Sanders, back foot, throws, and that one incomplete. Was looking in the direction of Ryan Frenzy.
And unfortunately, he had Ryan Frenzy, just not able to get the ball to him.
So Garrido will check back in. So North Schuylkill will get the football back. Standing at about his 35-yard line is Terry Thomas.
Wow.
Can he punt?
Wow.
I mean, seriously, this is unbelievable. Castellano goes up, shows his,
That's a great
Garrido,
punt.
That's fantastic. Glad you could join us here on D11sports.com, our game of the week presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine. Today's game also brought to you by Michael R. Glovis, financial advisor at Morgan Stanley, located at 101 Larry Holmes Drive, Suite 301 in Easton. For all your investment needs, call Michael R. Glovis at 610-559-6380. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. Feels like the offense hasn't been out for a while. And that's Chwanski on the carry.
In the second half, yes, North Schuylkill probably has slowed it down a little bit, kind of limited what they wanted to do, but this defense in Notre Dame has stepped up to the challenge in the second half.
Next week, we'll have a Saturday game for you, game of the week. It'll be Bangor at Wilson. We'll get a chance to see the Warriors. Once again, they had a tough loss, really a blown-out loss to Northwestern. And I know they're at it tonight once again, and they are taking on a very good Pottsville team. 35-14. Second down 8, low snap. Hall has some space. They go for the ball, they don't get it, and instead, Hall will get the first down, brought to you by DM2 Security.
And it looked like Wilson, as you said, facing a tough Pottsville team. Score-wise, doesn't look like they're holding it tight. And last I saw, I believe it was 43 to 8, maybe.
Wow. Well, again, we talk about that 4A classification. It's interesting. It gets even more interesting because the Bethlehem Catholic game was canceled. So because that's canceled, you don't get that opportunity to get a win there. If you have it, now you only have 3 games to really try to get some wins. And their schedule is not easy.
No, it's not, and that's what's going to make it a challenge for them to get into the playoffs.
So they'll milk some clock here as we approach the 8-minute mark. Chwanski powers through. Gains about 4.
Notre Dame decides to call a timeout. And just warming up on the sideline for Notre Dame was number 12, Danny Darno, who looks like to be their backup quarterback who will be coming into the game.
So the timeout called here with right around 8 minutes remaining on the clock. If you're a student from any District 11 school interested in broadcasting, journalism, or photography, check out D11sports.com. Follow your dream. Get close to the action as you take part in our student internship program. For more information, contact your athletic director or reach out to myself or Dave at D11sports.com. Tonight's game also brought to you by Ringer's Roost Tavern at 1801 West Liberty Street in Allentown. Enjoy their great burgers, wings, and more while you dine inside or outside for lunch or dinner. For more information, call 610-437-4941 or drop on by to Ringer's Roost Tavern in Allentown. So 8 minutes on the clock. More from number 5. He inches closer to that first down marker.
And the defense is there. It's just he's getting such a nice read and holding the lineman just enough where he's picking up 4 yards on just an outside zone play.
So a 3rd down and 2, and the big fella dives through and continues to move the chains. Brought to you by DM2 Security. You know, you say, oh, yeah, 79, you say in the beginning, what's this guy going to do in the backfield? When you have 6 touchdowns on the year, you're doing your part. When you're averaging, I believe it was 5.5 yards a carry, 5.7 yards a carry, you're doing your part.
And again, he's an athletic lineman.
Yes.
I mean, you see it when he's playing D-line. He's playing the D-tackle, the nose tackle spot for their defense, and he's been eating up blocks and still getting pressure on Quintano tonight.
So 1st down and 10. And breaking through. Somehow Chawanski comes out of the pile and is gone. Don't know how he did it, but he does it. 46 yards for the touchdown.
He just went into the middle there, and he kind of got swallowed up for a little bit. And the next thing you know, he's busting out the other end and taking it off for the touchdown. But again, Coach Hall told us he does run with power, and we're seeing that there. And we're seeing that tonight, the fact of how he continues to battle and continues to just grind and run hard.
Wow. That was a burst of speed if I ever saw it. Like a blink of an eye, I was looking down already, a gain of about 4, and next thing you know, he was gone, and he goes 46 yards. Gavin Metzner for the extra point to extend the lead once again for North Schuylkill. And that would be their 42nd point. And the reason I say that is because they come in averaging 42 points a game.
And that's 2 weeks in a row we've seen that. So we get another look at this. He's following the lead block of Robbie White's up the middle. Kind of cuts to the right, and you can see him coming through. A little over-penetration by the linebackers. And next thing you know, he's coming through the other end and taking off for the touchdown. And you get a good look at his ability to run with the ball and separate from the secondary.
Matt, we're seeing a good football team.
They are. North Schuylkill is, well, they're living up to as advertised right now.
Yeah, no doubt. Hope you're enjoying our coverage here at D11Sports.com Game of the Week, presented by St. Luke Sports Medicine. And a good one indeed here is expected prior to the game, but North Schuylkill is just really taking advantage of it. Northwestern winning tonight via shutout, 22-0 over Blue Mountain. So the Northwestern Lehigh Tigers still unbeaten on the season.
I think that, as we talked about their schedule for the remaining part of the year, that was a big win for them going down the stretch to kind of solidify their number 1 spot in the 4A classification.
Muhammad with it, makes a turn. Muhammad tries to make it. If he cuts through and he's on his feet, there he goes. Muhammad still on his feet, makes a turn, gets through traffic, and is gone. Wow, he tiptoed down the sideline, but this one may come back a couple flags. The crowd is just noticing the flags as I am. Take a look.
And you see a good turn, a good burst of speed down the edge. He does a nice job of running out of this tackle, too.
How about that? Yeah.
Number 1 for them had a nice beat on him, Terry Thomas. And Muhammad has to be careful. He turned around and backpedaled into the end zone. That's a personal foul waiting to happen.
And so they don't get the 90-yard plus touchdown, and instead they'll get the penalty and they'll get backed up. So talk things over here. Still waiting for the call. This is a long time coming here. Matt, shouldn't take this long.
No, it shouldn't. Just wondering what's going on with the call.
You mentioned for Northwestern, they get Pottsville next. That's their biggest game. Then at Saucon Valley and Catasauqua. So it'll be an interesting matchup between Pottsville and Northwestern. Really say a lot.
Absolutely. I think that's going to be the big one. What can they do next week against Pottsville? And that's going to be a great matchup. So we're going to get a re-kick. So the penalty will be enforced, and we'll get a re-kick. And obviously, Notre Dame contingent not happy with the call.
There's an ejection here, too. Matt, we didn't hear the official, so we...
No. I don't see nobody left the field.
I didn't get a number on who was ejected, but boy, there's a lot of conversation going on right now. Is the ejection on North Schuylkill?
Huh.
Well, again, they'll re-kick this.
Well, if it's on North Schuylkill, it can't. It has to be one of each.
Right.
Because they're kicking it from the same spot, so it has to be one of each. Didn't see what happened. What happened there?
So we're in the fourth quarter, 42-14. They will have a re-kick here. I'm on this. I'll get the answer. And it'll going to be Muhammad again. Lost a handle. Picks it up at the 7. Now tries to make the turn once again. Still on his feet. And that time he gets knocked out of bounds.
So Muhammad nearly gets around the edge again after it looked like the North Schuylkill kick coverage had him kind of penned in. But as the offense takes the field, and as we said, without Colin Quintano, who's still on the training table, we'll have number 12 taking over at quarterback, Danny Darno. He's a 6'1", 185-pound sophomore, so Deer Sanders can go out and resume his wide receiver position.
Trying to find out who still got ejected. You mentioned it was probably, it was on both, but there was a lot of confusion there.
But didn't see anybody leave the field for
correct.
Either team.
Right, but we saw the ejection sign, did we not?
He did show the ejection sign.
Okay.
But looking on the far side, too, I don't see anybody that's not in uniform.
So they regroup here. Second down. Looking to throw. Or is he? And Darno. Again, Danny Darno, a 6'1", 185-pound sophomore.
Yeah, that defensive front is just, it's not letting up at all against this offensive line. Notre Dame, if they want to try to get something going, they're going to have to rally around Darno and get him protection and then allow him to find these receivers down the field.
So Darno running the show right now for an injured Quintano. And he does have that little pass, and there's a lot of moving up the field. As long as he's holding on to that football the way he is, by Nadir Sanders.
That time Nadir Sanders running a tunnel screen coming down the line of scrimmage, and then he has his center guard and tackle out in front of him. They do a nice job. They flare Castellano that way, so that pulls the linebackers and secondary out as he comes underneath and then picks up a huge gain.
Darno fakes the one time. That's a catch. Yep. Pulled in. Good job of coming back to get that one.
Yeah, it looked like a little miscommunication, though. Two Notre Dame receivers were right within 2 yards of each other. Darno having enough time finding Nadir Sanders, and Sanders does a nice job getting his hands underneath and picking up the catch.
The ball down to the 38-yard line. Darno going to throw, and that one is going to be intercepted but out of bounds.
They just ran out of sideline. All it was.
And that ball is complete. Move the chains. A couple of them in a row. Brought to you by DM2 Security. And this one's been all North Schuylkill to this point.
I was wondering if you get Nadir Sanders coming in motion, maybe get him behind the quarterback. Do you try to throw the ball then to him and then throw a double pass? But you have to think at this point in time, this late in the game, why show something like that now?
And you and I talked about that, how much do you show depending on how the game goes. Darno has a lot of room if he wants to run. Instead, he'll throw this one.
And I will say that Darno has had more time to throw the ball right now than Quintano had in the first 3 quarters.
Oh, no question about that. Again, with 4 minutes left in the game, on the handoff. Castellano's still on his feet. Inside the 5, and he'll go in for the touchdown, 28 yards. Logan Castellano gets him right back on the board. So a big touchdown there. Obviously, time is not on their side by any means, but you try to get your momentum. Not only that, depending on the status of Quintano, you're using this time to see if you don't have Quintano next week, how you're going to use your quarterback, Aaron Darno.
Exactly, and I think if you have to, you're looking at, you have some time. Not to say any game is already won, because they're obviously not won till you step foot on the field, but they are going to be favored over Palisades next week. They will be favored in 2 weeks against Penargil, so you have to think at that point in time, you have 2 weeks to kind of rest him, maybe a week to rest him if it's nothing major, and then a week to get him back in action, and then go from there. So here's that run play by Castellano, just a quick zone play up the middle. He's running up. He gets a good cut and then breaks through 2 tackles, and then he runs the rest of the way into the end zone. It's just a good effort by Logan Castellano.
So 42-21. Again, we were expecting to have another game tomorrow afternoon. Going to be Easton and Bethlehem Catholic. That game was canceled because of some COVID going on at Bethlehem Catholic. So our next game will be at Wilson. It will be Wilson and the Bangor Slaters.
Last we looked, Bangor was playing Lehighton up pretty big. I think it was 35-14 last I saw. Cale Gottschalk just having a monster season for Bangor.
So now with just over 3 minutes remaining, we'll see what happens here.
And if that was one fortunate bounce Notre Dame's favor, they're collecting that onside kick. But unfortunately for them, it just bounces back and hits the kick coverage man in the face. And Northern Schuylkill will take over.
You mentioned the final score. Eric Schreiber was named D11 Sports Player of the Game, 50-14 victory for the Slaters over Lehighton.
And that's, I think, a win Bangor needed. They desperately needed to get back in the win column and have a big game. I know they lost that tough one to Saucon Valley. Was it last week? Lost it in the second half, I think 35-22.
So Emmaus gets another victory. They beat Liberty. They've improved to 6-1. Liberty falls to 1-6 with the victory. They win that one 35-0. So how Fairclough team, all of a sudden, that defense is back where they expected it to be.
I think that sets up some pretty good games coming up in the near future for that EPC. Parkland playing well. Then you come back, you have Emmaus playing well. Freedom was up on Whitehall.
34-12.
34-12, so that's a big win right now for Freedom getting back in. They've been playing a tough schedule, and they tripped up twice.
DM2 Security is a locally owned and operated security company presently serving most all of Pennsylvania. They provide all phases of security services for your home and business. They offer free estimates and have very competitive pricing and superior customer service. Let DM2 Security start protecting you today. Check them out on the web at dm2security.com. It's a small price to pay for your peace of mind. DM2 Security. Welcome to them with a sponsor of tonight's game. And again, they just continue to rack up some yards here with another run by Chawanski.
I believe that's Notre Dame's last time out, so last chance to stop the clock.
St. Luke's is the region's largest sports medicine provider, covering more than 200,000 student enrollment and 40,000 student athletes in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, covering 8 counties and providing the most comprehensive and advanced treatment for athletic injuries. St. Luke's offers athletic training, orthopedic care, physical therapy, and concussion management, plus sports performance training for individual athletes and teams during these extraordinary times. You can trust St. Luke's Sports Medicine to provide extraordinary care. I'm going to say this one got away from him in a hurry, but when it was 14-0, when it was 14-7, it was almost 21-7. They got out of that, but then they gave it right back. And since then, never looking back. Chawanski going to be short of that first down marker.
Al, I wanted to mention before, I brought it up, but we never talked about it. The offensive line for North Schuylkill, you kind of look at them and they all kind of look like clones of each other. They're like the same looking kid on the field. And when you go down the line, 55 Dalton Zelwalk is a 6'1", 255-pound senior. The left guard, Eddie Torres, 6 foot, 262 pounds, and is also a senior. The center, Brady Salukis, number 68, 6'1", 263-pound junior. Number 67 is their right guard. We'll see what happens after this play. The right guard's 67, Kerry Wahalik, 6 foot, 285 pounds. And then the right tackle, Stephen Davis, number 50, 6 foot, 253-pound junior. So all of them kind of look the same, right around that 250, 260-pound mark. And just, they know Coach Hall's system, and they know how to run that system, and they run it very well.
They do, and in the final 2 minutes, Northampton, by the way, beating Pleasant Valley. It was tight early, but they win 35-12. Catasauqua Rough Riders, who've been having a great year, they're down in Minersville 36-21. They're going to the fourth quarter in that one. And trying to push forward. I believe that was Castellano with the ball, but the ball was loose.
Ball came out.
Boy, yeah. I didn't know if that was – if they stopped it there. They did not. North Schuylkill comes up with another turnover. It's been that kind of night.
It has been. And, as Coach Danball mentioned in the first half at halftime, just been shooting themselves in the foot with turnovers, penalties, untimely drop passes, and missed assignments.
So with the ball now at the 43-yard line, and the game in hand, 42-21. Chawanski makes the turn, and Chawanski cuts up field and gets another, I don't know, what was that, 18, 20 yards or so. He just continues to do what he does and get another first down, brought to you by DM2 Security. Again, if you're Notre Dame here in the final 2 minutes, you don't want to give up another touchdown. You want to kind of keep a little momentum going in, but they got to be really frustrated. You know, Colin Quintano, again, his health is the biggest concern for this Notre Dame team. Obviously, they're a different team with him not in there. But, you know, as I always said with Phil Stanbaugh, and I, broadcast his games when he was at Lehigh, he gets every quarterback ready.
He will, and if it comes down to that, that's Danny Darno. He'll get him ready. But it's going to be a bigger thing to fix than that. And I think it comes down to the offensive line and the protection. Quintano was on the ground quite a few times tonight and was really hit hard quite a few times. So this offensive line and the coaching staff needs to go back and look at, okay, where were they attacking us from? Because it's very similar to what happened in the district playoff game last year. They were able to get a lot of pressure on Quintano and not let him sit comfortably and not let him have time to get to the receivers.
Second down, and we'll get another flag here. So there's maybe one more play to be run.
How many pass? Ooh. So that last kneel down by Hall will allow them to run out the clock. And for Coach Hall, this puts them in a great position heading into that the 3A classification in the playoffs. And for Notre Dame, they have to get back to work. And that's all it's about, just getting back to work and refocusing on what you have to do. What you have to do is get back to a second matchup with this team, but you have some work to do to get there.
So they will shake hands, and everyone expecting these two teams to meet a little bit later on. We'll have to wait and see, obviously, what happens down the road with these two teams. But, they'll talk things over. We'll talk things over and try to get our player of the game in just a little bit. You're watching our D11sports.com Game of the Week presented by St. Luke Sports Medicine. And, Colin Quintano actually came out right now. That's him right there in street clothes in the bottom. And, that's great to see him make his way out onto the field as well. So you're watching our D11sports.com Game of the Week presented by St. Luke Sports Medicine. We'll be back right after this.
St. Luke's knows that trust is the foundation of all relationships. It's earned over time. It's the type of relationship you should have with your healthcare team. While our healthcare needs are different, one thing is constant. St. Luke's is focused on building a lasting relationship with you, earning your trust and putting your well-being first. When it comes to great healthcare, trust is essential. St. Luke's, the care you trust, now more than ever. At St. Luke's Orthopedic Care, you can trust us with your...
We are back here as North Schuylkill on the far sideline talking things over to his fans, and waving there. And, take you through the scoring here in this one. Colin Quintano to Logan Castellano for a touchdown to make it 7-0. Then Robbie White's a 7-yard touchdown run made it 7-7. Jackson Chawanski, 37-yard run, made it 14-7. Jake Hall, a 17-yard touchdown run, made it 21-7. That was your score at the half. From there, third quarter, 5-yard touchdown run by Josh Chawanski, made it 28-7. Joey Flail, a 10-yard reception from Jake Hall, made it 35-7. Nadir Sanders to Muhammad for a 28-yard touchdown, 35-14. Then a 46-yard touchdown run by Josh Chawanski to make it 42-14. And then they added one, 42-21, your final score, and we go down to Kieran.
Here with the Spartans head coach, Coach Hall. Coach, clearly the game plan worked for you tonight. What do you think worked well for all of you?
Well, we always want to come in and run the football, especially when you get into the latter of the year. That's a big game plan for us, is to establish the run, but offensively, and then as I said before, our defense too. We had to win the battle up front, and our down guys on defense did a super job, and we covered their guys.
This is clearly a big win. Where do you go from this point?
It's 1 week at a time. I mean, that's the focus. We have a lot of tough games left on our schedule, so just 1 week at a time.
Thank you. Congratulations to you and the whole coaching staff.
Good job, Kieran. Thanks a lot, and then we'll wait to see you get the player of the game at the same time, and you go from one hall to another hall. You'll take it that. I tell you what, played tremendous. Matt, while we have a minute here, first let's talk about the Crusaders. How do they rebound from a loss like this, knowing that this is the toughest team they're going to face all year?
And I think it comes down to when you look at their schedule and, have they really been in a tight game other than Northern Lehigh? Have they really been tested? And they were tested tonight, absolutely. They need to come back and they just need to refocus on the little things that are going to help them achieve success in a game like this. And how do you achieve success in a game like this? You need to battle through those peaks and valleys. And I think, unfortunately, they got into some valleys and they had a hard time coming out of them. And then when they did, it was late, and it was just a little too late, unfortunately, for them.
And the other side for Coach Hall?
I think you just have to, as he said, I think you take it 1 week at a time. They don't have that easy of a schedule coming up. They have the big showdown, I think, was what everybody will want to see is at the end of the year when they face Pottsville. But between there, they have a game against Salisbury and a game against Tamaqua. So, again, like Notre Dame, they're going to be favored in those two games. So they will definitely be favored in those. And then from there, it's just a matter of getting healthy and getting prepared for that game against Pottsville and doing what they can in that game and just continuing to build momentum.
Well, momentum indeed. Jake Hall, in that huddle right now with his team, and Wally just talking to his team, and Wally was all business in the beginning, of the game, and he knew. I talked to both coaches for about 25, 30 minutes this morning, and again, you put themselves in a position that they know it is going to be a game. You know that you're playing your best team, but at the same time, both coaches said anything can happen. And it could be one way or the other, and that's what we see. But at the same time, and, still Phil Stanbaugh is just going to have to go back to the drawing board and regroup, because if you feel you're going to meet him twice, and you and I talked this in the beginning, you may not want to show everything. And you said maybe late, maybe show some play. You don't have to show it. You kind of regroup and get the job done and get ready for that game down the road.
Absolutely, and I think Notre Dame's success the rest of this season is going to be on the group at the middle of the field, and that's the offensive line. I think they need to get that group together and solidify what went wrong tonight. They need to figure out where the pressure was coming from, how were they attacking us, and what did they see? Where were some weak links? Where were some gaps that we weren't prepared to protect? Because Colin Quintana was on his back way too often for them to win this game, unfortunately. There was too much pressure on him, and again, that's a carryover from last year, and I think Coach Hall hit it there too. It was the front four. Those front four were able to get pressure, and it was pressure that they were able to get necessarily without blitzing. Yes, they brought Chawanski a few times. They brought Jack Dean a little bit, but it was mostly the front four that were able to put the pressure on them and really force the action for North Schuylkill's defense.
One more on North Schuylkill. You asked Coach Hall about Chawanski and what he means to the team, and he said which one, and you see why.
Exactly, and I think that's the big thing. They replaced a lot of players, and going through, and I'm fortunate for doing this, and I try to do whatever I can, but putting together rosters, I think, is the big thing that really gets you to get into the groove of who's there, what are these players, and this North Schuylkill defense, and Jackson Chawanski is one of them on that defense. There's only one senior. I'm sorry, I lied. Two seniors on that defense, there are countless sophomores. I counted 5 sophomores playing on this defense, and look at what they were able to do.
Tonight.
It's crazy.
Yep, and we talked about it last year for these two teams at the same time. They were young and they're getting older, but now you're going to have them back anyway. So regardless, Jake Hall had a great job, offensively, moving the ball and getting his way down. And with him, he's right now down the field with Kieran Lencheski. Kieran,
we have to do it just really quick. All right.
Where am I looking?
Right in the left camera. That's awesome. All right. Hi, I'm here with the Spartans quarterback, Jake Hall. Congratulations on being named D11sports.com player of the game.
Thank you.
What a performance you had, 3 touchdowns. Tell me a little bit about it.
That's just the credit to the game plan and how we set up. Like I wasn't really running the ball a lot the past few weeks, and then I started to run the ball a lot this week, and then throwing the ball too. That's I've been on that. But my receivers made plays for me.
Big game tonight. Where do you go with the momentum that you just got from this?
I mean, we got to bring it out through the rest of the season, and then ultimately the game when we'll probably play again. So that's when it's going to matter the most. But it's great to get this game and have it right out for the rest of the season for us.
Well, congratulations. Thank you.
Kieran, great job down there on the field, and Jake Hall, he said the same thing. We're going to see him again. I mean, that's what we feel. Again, unless something dramatic happens, you expect us to be again. It's like Ali and Frey. Round 2. Second round, whatever. Your final thoughts on this one?
Absolutely. And you wonder where's that game going to be at. So if it does come down to being that district championship game, where's that going to be at? Where's it going to be played? But what about if it comes down to, depending on points and depending on some games coming up, if it's a semifinal game? You hardly think that Notre Dame will drop to 4. You have to think North Schuylkill right now put themselves in that 1 seed. They're solidified there. They have that game against Pottsville, which could change a lot. But then Notre Dame's going to have to be 2 or 3, you would think. But what if it comes out to be a semifinal game? That changes the whole landscape of the 3A classification then. But just utterly impressed with Coach Hall and the North Schuylkill Spartans. Just what an amazing job and what a fantastic team. Just well-rounded everywhere, every position, just solid. That's all I can say.
No question. Congratulations to Coach Hall. They go to 7-0, and they continue to streak now to 15 straight wins, coming off a championship last year. Phil Stanbaugh's team will regroup. They're at 5-1. Final score again, this one 42-21 for Dave Micah down the field, for Kieran Lencheski, for the birthday boy Bill Lewis, for Matt Evangelio.
Happy birthday, Bill.
Saying so long. Final score once again 42-21. North Schuylkill, your winner. Have a great night.
D11 Sports presents St. Luke's Sports Medicine Game of the Week. Don't miss all the action online at D11sports.com.